on this one. Welcome to Week 5 of Rocket League in the Gfinity Elite Series presented by Alienware. We are live around Australia on 10 Peach. Right now, it's our final round of league play, and the pressure is on to secure a place in next week's semi-final.
Yeah, the top spot on the ladder is up for grabs too. Just 3 points separate the top 4 teams as they set their sights on more than $40,000 in prize money.
The competition is well and truly heating up, but before we get into this week's hectic matchups, here are the best bits from Week 4. Their first match of the day, please give it up to the Melbourne Order and their crosstown rivals, Melbourne Advance.
Game number 1 here. Hopefully we start off with a bang. Zen and Dubbo now, the cross is over to Jules. Opening goal for Melbourne Order. Let's go! Melbourne Advance staring down the barrel of not even making it past Week 4. My oh my, how things have changed. Great goal from Bango.
It's always down to Bango. He's able to sniff out a goal in any situation.
The pressure's still on. The push forward. Zen with a clear. It hits that back wall. He gets freedom and the shot. Oh, Melbourne Order. They get away with it once more, but Melbourne have put up a good fight. It's going to be a big one. Ground Zero taking on the Deceptors. Perth Ground Zero. They need this win. Now Jake has to adapt. Ghost gets demoed himself, but what's the dribble play? Jake sets it up. Oh boy, this man's been international, and you see why. Steve will bang it in the end. Deceptors are 3-0 on the cards. Walcott, the ball hits back and down. Yingti silences it forever. Deceptors say 3-0, we'll take it.
Week on week, they look better and better and better.
Sydney Roar and the Chiefs. This is going to be a doozy. This is going to be a great matchup, and I can't wait to get started. Gorsos lobs it up, but look at the defense now. It's just Kami. CJ sends it down, and the perfect pass ends up well for Sydney Roar. But Sydney Roar have a chance to close this one. The story, does it end at 3-0?
We're about to find out.
Oh, the 1-2-3 again.
Oh my God.
Into overtime. Chiefs trying to keep it up, but see you later. It's the Chiefs who get 3-0. It's the Roar who defy expectations.
Much like the Spanish Inquisition, no one expected that.
It's time to bring in our Rocket League analyst for the final week of league play. So guys, please put your hands together for Yummy Cheese Man, Mr. David Lane. Thanks for joining us again. Now, Avant are out of contention at this point. They're just playing for pride, so the pressure's really on for Order and Ground Zero to get that place in the semis, yeah?
They've really struggled the entire season. They're putting together week after week, and this is the final chance, the final time for them to show up and go big.
Well, Sydney Chiefs are relying on their subs roster this week. Can they turn things around after a shock loss to Sydney Roar last week?
Well, funnily enough, the Chiefs sub roster are undefeated while the core roster took the loss to Sydney Roar. So in terms of this victory, I think the subs roster are the one to bring.
Well, speaking of last week, Melbourne Order continued their momentum, racking up back-to-back wins. Cheeseman Zen was your MVP, but is there room for improvement with this Order team?
Well, for sure, and Zen is not able to pull together 5 or even a full series in a row of great games. They really rely on him. When he plays well, they take the victories, but when he's not on form, they've taken losses. They need to work together as a team. We know their high potential. They could even make it into the finals again and be ready to defend their title, but they still haven't quite found their nerves on this land stage.
Yeah, well, after that result, Dumbo took responsibility for Order's Game 3 fade-out against Avant.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with today. Like when we hit Game 2, we were at our best, and I reckon we could have stayed consistent with that if I didn't end up trolling the series. I literally put the chair back and laid down at the beginning of the 3rd game and, you know, bit me in the ass. Learned my lesson, but yeah, we brought it back in the end, so I'm happy with it still.
Brisbane Deceptors bounced back from a humiliating defeat to Chiefs with a clean sweep against Perth Ground Zero. Cheeseman, there was no stopping Sexy Steve. Sexy playing there.
When it comes to the Brisbane Decepticons, there's more than meets the eye. They continue getting better and better every single week, and it's off the back of S. Steve. He's the one who has continually improved under the guidance of Jake. So much experience there. And now last week he had a big week. He got goal after goal. He got the MVP. He's been so crucial now. And I think if he can perform again today, they will be able to take down Sydney Roar.
Well, according to Steve, the improved chat between him and his teammates has definitely had an impact.
What we learned from Chiefs is we have to be communicating better, especially with me. I didn't communicate that well.
Steve, give me a yell. Give me a yell. Go, ah! Do it.
And I've been working on that past few weeks, and yeah, I've improved.
Sit it down. Nice. Bang into this. Stevie, Speedy, let's get it.
When we were screaming, Jake started to stay back a little bit more, which allowed me to push up a bit more. That's probably what I was expecting a lot from me this week.
Hungry, Steve. Let's get it.
I love Jake, he's awesome. Moving on, the final match last week between our two Sydney clubs, Raw and Chiefs, took us all by surprise. So Raw upstaged their highly fancied opponents with a 3-0 clean sweep. Cheeseman, this was pretty impressive from Raw.
No one's done that really from the Chiefs since end of 2017, and this is a big showing from the Sydney Raw. They're the front runners right now, and they're just so hard to defend against.
Yeah, the unexpected result really only fueled the fire between the Sydney clubs.
Yeah, I don't think there's sort of any secret recipe to beating the Chiefs, but we just have their number at the moment. Both teams didn't play particularly well, but yeah, we just probably didn't panic as much. We missed less balls, I guess, and yeah, we just ended up being a little bit more solid than them today.
Yeah, I think the way Sydney Raw play is quite annoying against us. Like, they just ball chase, and yeah, it doesn't really give us time on the ball.
We do have a deliberate play style of like targeting Torsos particularly, but yeah, it wasn't. Normally I'm the one that sort of chases him around a bit, but today it was CJ and Shady that bumped him a few times and opened up the net for us.
I'm feeling pretty annoyed, obviously, because it's just can't get around Tainted, I guess, or Raw. But we definitely didn't get into the right mindset, kind of just beat ourselves in a way. So that's really, yeah, and had like technical issues as well.
Yeah, we certainly consider ourselves the favourites against Chiefs now. Just the fact that we've had their measure 3 times previously this season and now beaten them 4 times in a row, we feel like, you know, we just have a play style that works against them, and we do a few things that really gets under their skin, I guess.
Here are the Rocket League standings heading to the final preliminary round thanks to Dare Ice Coffee and Astro headsets. As you can see, Sydney Raw are outright leaders on 10 points. Sydney Chiefs and Brisbane Deceptors are locked on 9. The defending champions Melbourne Order and Perth Ground Zero, of course, are battling it out for the last spot in the semi-finals, and Melbourne Avant are out of contention, but they must be keen to finish on a win for Season 2.
Today we kick things off with the table-topping Raw against Deceptors. Ground Zero must win their clash against Avant to stand any chance of reaching the Final 4, and Order can secure a place in the semi-finals with a win over Sydney Chiefs. Cheeseman, who do you think will grab the all-important 4th spots?
Right now, Order are well ahead in the points, in the table, and maybe in terms of their performance as well. I think Order should be able to do it. They even can go through on a loss. A 2-3 loss will still guarantee it, and that's relying on Ground Zero getting a win. So if Avant upset Ground Zero, then Order automatically make it.
Yeah, well, we'll get into that a bit later. Let's get into our opening match right now. It's the Brisbane Deceptors against Sydney Raw. Just 1 point separates them at the top of the table. Cheeseman, the Deceptors lineup is settled right now with Steve, Jake and Yeatsy going around again today.
And they've been a real surprise packet this season. Who would have thought that they could be in contention for the top spot, for the top placement? But they've been growing, they've been getting better, and I really look forward to seeing how they can do today.
And their opponents, Sydney Raw, are chasing 3 wins in a row. They have stuck with their winning combination of Express, CJ, and Shady.
And they're 6-0. They haven't lost a single game, this core roster. They are the top 3 statistically relevant players, and they've been averaging 3 goals a game. Ridiculous performance from them. They took down the Chiefs, and now they have the chance to really top out the table.
I'm looking forward to a huge first match here, so let's make some noise for our first team in the Hoist Gfinity Esports Arena. Give it up for Brisbane Deceptors! Steve, Jake and Yeatsy. Here they come and taking them on today. Make some more noise for Sydney Raw! Express, CJ and Shady. Right, our opening match is just minutes away. Make sure you follow at Gfinity AU on socials to be notified when we go live on CSGO, Rocket League and Street Fighter. We will be back real soon with the first clash of the day. Brisbane Deceptors are going to take on Sydney Raw, and both our teams are absolutely ready to rumble. Make some noise for the Sydney Raw!
Yeah, Raw are a really great team. They had a really good performance last week against Chiefs. Really hoping we can step up and play them.
And the Raw are just playing a better game of Rocket League right now.
Well, I think it's a good way to test ourselves, like definitely be able to measure ourselves. So we sort of had Chiefs, which was the other international team, and then this is the less international team, so it might be a bit more interesting, hopefully.
That's in, CJ. Right through the middle.
Brisbane Deceptors are a very strong team. Jake has been a very good leader for them. He's really developed Steve and Yeatsy into some really good players on LAN, and they're playing some pretty good Rocket League at the moment, and it should be a tough game.
Oh yes, week on week they look better and better and better.
Obviously Jake is the leader of that team. He's previously been on Chiefs and one of the veterans of the scene, so we'll obviously be looking at Jake and maybe getting some bumps on him and putting him off his game.
Jake sets it up. Oh boy, this man's been international, and you see why.
Mr. Murray, have you decided on a name?
We're thinking Callum.
Calamari.
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 Let's make it Jack.
Drink it through with Dare iced coffee.
3 days ago, Coda announced that Zero would join Cell 7 in the upcoming Soma Worlds tournament. After so many league victories, switching teams this close to the tournament appears to be a deliberate move to destroy Coda's chance at the title.
Welcome back to the Gfinity Elite Series. There is not long until our opening match between the Brisbane Deceptors and Sydney Raw. Top spot on the ladder up for grabs. It's our final week of league play. here at Rocket League. Huge match about to pop off there. The players getting in the zone, very focused, important matches today. About to get started in just a sec. Before we join our casters for the first match of the day, Alienware is giving you a chance to win a brand new M15 laptop this season. It's the thinnest and lightest 15-inch Alienware gaming notebook ever. And this is your chance to take one home. There are 9 different ways to enter. Go to gfinityesports.com.au for all the details on that. All thanks to Alienware and Gfinity Esports Australia. Now, Mr. Yummy Cheese Man, Mr. Tasty Cheese Stuff. Is that the one? Which one was it?
Yeah, the Tasty Cheese
Tasty Cheese Stuff. Sir, sorry. Now, who do you reckon is going to take it, Raw Deceptors?
Well, Deceptors, they haven't scored less than 2, well, they only scored less than 2 goals once this season. They are really good on attack, but 2 goals isn't enough against the Raw. The Raw will take it out. They'll be scoring left, right, and centre. And I really do think it'll be not a close series. It'll be one way.
Really? Do you have a scoreline prediction?
Let's go 3-0.
3-0? To Raw, not popular with the crowd. We'll see what happens. Let's get started. First match of the day. We're going to throw over... All right, that's enough, guys. We'll throw over to our dynamic duo of casting, James Cowan and Jake Ozzypenko. Over to you.
Good to be back here again for week number 5, the last week of league play. I am, of course, Jake. This is Jim. You can call him Jim Nesso. You can call me Hysterics, or you can call him Hysterics. It doesn't matter either way. Jim Nesso, Movember is over, but you three, for some reason, are still going on with it. I shaved off everything in the lead up to today's big game.
Yeah, well, persistence is key. And I think that's a theme running, obviously, throughout the month for us. But persistence is key here as well for Brisbane Deceptors. And they've really got to persist with, I guess, the game plan that they've got. It's a tough opposition, Sydney Raw, and I'm looking forward to this match.
Definitely is going to be a big one. However, for all of you watching at home, right now we're going to reward you for sticking around as always. Head to gfinity.incentloyalty.com and use your drop code on your screen. This time it's G321GO to earn some currency and also to get you hyped up. You've only got a limited time to go to the website and enter the drop code and get paid. You receive 20 incent for each drop code this time, all weekend long. And don't worry about missing the action. You can watch it all from the rewards website. So get to it. G321GO, and that's the feeling I'm getting going towards this first matchup. Deceptors and Raw, 2 teams who've been impressing us week after week. Raw come off the back of that upset last week. Deceptors come off the back of momentum from previous weeks.
Oh, that's right. And as you said, with the drop code 321GO, it's going to be fast-paced action. And we know that Sydney Raw are going to come into this with a game plan. They know that the key target man is Jake, and even said in the pre-games there that they're going to potentially even target him and get him off his game because they know that he is such a pivotal part of what they're trying to do.
He is such a core member. You're exactly right, Jim Nesso. Looking at Jake from Brisbane Deceptors, I'm looking at CJ from Sydney Raw. He, in his own way, is a leader. He's changed this team. And as we get into this very first game, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear you make some noise. Brisbane Deceptors in the crowd. We've got a big support there. Definitely the underdog coming into this first match.
Off to a fast start. You can see Shady almost immediately out of the gates there, straight, direct. No, I think that's the way that they're going to play, to put pressure on the youngsters and see whether or not they crack.
Good opportunity for Stephen Yeaty to stand up tall. Playing around this corner. Now for Brisbane Deceptors, still watching what Jake can do. He comes in for the intercept, CJ leaving it, but fast-paced play from Sydney Raw is what to expect.
Just going to, again, try and keep the pressure on. No momentum on the ball at the moment, though. Both these two teams very, very flat in the way they're playing thus far. But, I mean, you can already see Sydney Raw, they played so fast and direct, and they need to be careful here that they don't leave their own net unguarded, though.
And sometimes Sydney Raw, they'll push up aggressively, leave their defence wide open. An opportunity maybe for Brisbane Deceptors as we go forward. Like this, it's rolling through. The demo comes in as well, but not in time. First one over to the Deceptors.
And there you go. CJ there, just too much. Gave too much space with that ball. Didn't quite get the touch he wanted. Jake pounced on that, get straight into the back of the neck.
Well, the Deceptors, the start that they wanted. How does this flow through the rest of this game, let alone the series? Shady pushing up aggressive. This is their opportunity. CJ there for the open net, or not quite so open. Express probably had the angle, but CJ fixes it up. And Sydney Raw back on the board.
Yeah, again, just immediate pressure straight off that kickoff as well. Just peppering that goal and the backboard, and they get their result. They get that goal, and Ledger is squared once again.
All right, things tightened up there by Sydney Raw after an earlier mistake, or maybe an unfair opportunity for them. Minutes pass, you can see the flow of this game. Jake coming forward, a good pop-up there for Yeatsy. Trying to slip it past that defense, but CJ and Expressor there, playing far through, but intercepts. The challenge is working out here for Brisbane Deceptors. Ball bouncing down, playing it slow, but Jake gets a fast 2, not the third. Sydney Raw now have to stay on the attack. Bit of a pinch comes out of the side. CJ with another good read, sets it up again for Express. Sydney Raw, unexpected plays once more in front of the net. And they're sent away.
Just a bit too deep for that rotation to come through, and they've left that net open for Jake. My oh my. Brisbane Deceptors, they're in the mix this game.
And it just comes through off the back of these challenges. Brisbane Deceptors getting the upper hand, not something we thought we'd say coming into this first game.
And they're playing much faster, they're playing very aggressive too. And they're just shutting down Sydney Raw before they can get those touches under control. So they're matching aggression with aggression, and this is good to see from the youngsters.
Deceptors can get a win here. It would be so big for their seeding moving forward. The Raw are taking charge and in the lead after last week, but Jake's trying to punish that a little bit. He comes in quite strong off the roof. Stevie has to play the patience game here. Jake comes through to cement that a little bit more. Good touches again now, the Brisbane Deceptors. Slow in their own half, but they just pummel the ball towards that net. Pressure again on the defense of Sydney Raw.
Once again, Brisbane Deceptors just making sure they keep things tight in defence. They've always got someone tracking back, rotating back. They don't want to be caught off guard, and even confident passing in defence, and that's important at this stage of the game.
Reaching around, Jake manages to find his way through the ball, but challenges again coming forward. CJ comes up. Now it's up to Shady. CJ goes back down. Raw in a great position now just for Express. And we're tied once more.
And that is the result of hard work and just making sure that they're clinical in attack. The passes are good. Shady just sets up Express. I don't know how many times I've said that throughout the seasons, but it is the 1-2 punch that works.
Comes straight out of the corner, right into the heart of the net. Right into the heart of Sydney Raw, 2 apiece. And what an interesting first game this is shaped up to be. Shady comes in, blocked away. That was an important move there from Brisbane Deceptors. But still on the attack are Sydney Raw. The pinch ends up not really favouring CJ. He's going to have to try and clear it in the face of Yeatsy. The steal away once more. Challenges getting dangerous here for Sydney Raw. But the passing play starting to come online. 2 minutes left remaining. Pouncing down, Jake over the top, can't get through Express. The clear's back, but that's a miss, that's a big one from Sydney Raw. Express just goes swinging past the ball. Sydney Raw should have had that goal.
They should have, but they were let off the hook. So 2 misses there, very fortunate. I guess they levelled out in that regard, but it could have had a 3-2 scoreline. And that is very dangerous to the Deceptors. They have a lot of pressure to absorb at the moment. And Sydney Raw are unrelenting in their attack.
And look how far they've all pushed up. CJ now goes back, but Sydney Raw playing that aggressive style that we know them for. CJ centres it and sends it towards net, but again, Steve is there. CJ now looking how to play with this ball best. He's got plenty of boost to finish off the play. The pitch keeps it down here for just a little bit longer. Shady in off the roof. Yeatsy clears up. How important the shot calling is going to be here for the next minute. Game 1, we don't have a decider, but Steve, the infield there, straight to Yeatsy, blocked away, but look how far forward Jake is. He controls the ball in the midfield and keeps the ball up here.
That's right, it's important he didn't get caught out there because he leaves them wide open at the back if he misses anything. So Brisbane Deceptors, they're in the mix right now, but both these two teams, they're very, very fast to transition from attack to defence and back again.
Maybe an opportunity now for Sydney Raw, not too much boost. Steve really the only one who can punch it up. A quick demo decides nothing. And Jake now has to play very quick with this ball. 25 seconds left remaining. From the corner, the bounce down. Yeatsy and Steve not committing up, but a bump by CJ. Steve's coming in red hot. He'll hit the backboard instead, denied by Yeatsy. The rest of Brisbane Deceptors trying to get those bumps back online. But 10 seconds remaining here. The steal from Steve. Oh, man. They put sexy in front of his name, but we can change that around. It's more like smooth at this point. 7 seconds, a goal up.
Well, smooth. He's only a couple letters away from smother, and that's exactly what he did. And Brisbane Deceptors, they edged themselves to 3-2. Last minute. They need to hold on.
Defense here going to be the important factor, but Jake might have just done that with the clear. Express can't find too much. Shady from the corner, Jake back down. They're just trying to keep it up for now, but eventually it will drop, and Brisbane Deceptors, a very surprising first win here in Game 1.
And it speaks to how fast they've been playing this game. A lot of the time, Sydney Raw were caught out by the pace of Brisbane Deceptors. They're in the challenge all the time, and that's what they need to do. They're getting Sydney Raw off their game. They're not allowing those easy passes to come through, and it's important that they just maintain that pressure.
But you look at Jake, and you look at how crucial he is to this roster. I mean, Steve and Yeatsy have been performing so well, but the aggression that comes through from Jake, the leadership that he's adding to this team, Brisbane Deceptors are going forward with it. And a couple of mistakes out of Sydney Raw, this opens up opportunities for Deceptors once more.
And I think you need to also look at how rough this game is in terms of the bumps. Both these two teams are looking to unsettle one another. There's bumps on the ball, off the ball, you name it. And it's working for Brisbane Deceptors at the moment, but don't count out Sydney Raw at all because they're a class side and they will work their way back into this.
For Deceptors, we didn't expect them to start off with the 1-0, but it was Steve in the end who comes in with the intercept. And for Brisbane Deceptors, this opening means everything for the series. 1-0 up. Can they continue it forward?
Well, that's the question. And it's always going to be the question asked of youngsters when it comes into matches that are so important like this one.
Yep.
It really does define their season. It will show a coming of age if they do manage to take more games off Sydney Raw. If they even go further and take that win, who knows where we go from here.
There's no time to pause here. Game 2 coming up very shortly. And I'm hoping to see the Raw bring it all the way back. Game 2, let's go. Deceptors up with 1. Can they make it 2?
It depends on this kickoff. We saw last week Perth Ground Zero conceded quite a few goals off the kickoff, but almost immediately the pressure's coming from Brisbane Deceptors, and they're going to just ask a question early. Thankfully it's dealt with, but again, they're keeping this ball locked in, Brisbane Deceptors. They're looking good at putting pressure on a very experienced side.
And they'll pull back as well. Small miss from Yeatsy. Jake recovers it quite well. CJ and Express not going to commit to those 50-50s, but Steve with the pass in, hits the crossbar, comes back down. Look at the speed.
They strike first, they strike hard as well, and that was all off the back of this shot from Steve. They had some venom on it. Thankfully, the crossbar sets it up nicely for Jake, who started that movement.
But you look at how clean that pass was as well, how much pressure they're setting up onto Sydney Raw. And the Raw are going, what is happening? Even right now, Yeatsy, if he was able to clean that one up, could have been a very different story. CJ with a great pass through. That's what we know the Raw for. Clean and precise.
And they're very fast to strike back as well. It only took 8 seconds from end to end there. And you could see just the passing plays from them open things up. No one was home for Brisbane Deceptors. So they're taking their foot off the accelerator. And I think that may come back to bite them because there's a lot of Rocket League to play just yet. And Sydney Raw are capable of playing first-class Rocket League.
Still don't know which way this is going to go. It's been a confidence game out of the Deceptors still, and one moment can change everything. We say over multiple weeks. Shady should be able to find the clear, gets the ball under Yeatsy, but look how far Jake pushed up once again. Now up to the defense of Steve. Express goes over the ball. In the corner we wait. CJ doesn't get the best touch. It's snuck through by Jake as well. Steve able to lob it across goal. Raw trying to do something with the ball, but you can see committing up. Yeatsy and Jake both getting there first. Steve pops. Shady going to come through. Jake doesn't find the touch. It's now over to CJ in the corner, slow and steady. Bump on the backside. Shady will keep the ball in play, but the offense stops there with a miss. And it happens again. Deceptors going over the top of the Raw. Jake's back in here looking for his double touch. Hits the backboard. Steve brings it back. Yeatsy's there. A lot of power into Express. Luckily, he denies it, but for how long will that continue?
So much pressure being heaped on by Brisbane Deceptors. Is it going to come to an end?
Oh, the bounce is there. Who's following it up? It's Yeatsy. Jake doesn't commit forward. An opportunity for a double touch there by Steve, but opportunities and pressure adding to the mix. Steve into Shady. One apiece still with 3 minutes left remaining. CJ on the defense, but they hit it the other way. Jake's come through. CJ doesn't have any boost, and I think they know this. Steve comes close to Express. Yeatsy keeps it in play. The attack just continues forward. The midfield held strong. The angle close by Jake. The infield not there for anyone. It's Yeatsy who's rotated it back, but they're getting closer towards that net, and all they need is one opportunity like this with the shot going directly towards net. Shady, a great save.
Hopefully that double commit doesn't come back to bite them. But you can see the bumps happening in the back play there. They're very keen to get them off their game, and Brisbane Deceptors,
what a pass.
They crack.
A beautiful pass there by the Raw, Jim Nesso. You say it again, if you let your guard down, the Raw are there to take full advantage, and they'll take the lead with it as well.
full credit to Sydney Raw. They had to absorb a lot of pressure in those moments, and they did, and they got a result out of it as well. They got that goal back, but for how long can they hold it?
Pressure still seems to be there. It was one mistake. It was one issue by Brisbane Deceptors. Steve comes through again. Shady now directly onto net. Yeatsy goes up. It's a quick save. It's an easy save, and Steve gets the demo onto CJ. Doesn't look like the attack has stopped just yet. 2 minutes left remaining. Shady comes in around the corner, beats out the defense. Yeatsy holds on. CJ coming in, he'll happy to pass back there. Express to Shady once again. Passing plays quick and easy there for the Raw. They get it behind, but CJ can't beat out Jake. It's now the momentum on the other foot with Steve coming through. A quick demo as well. And Raw are just pushing up the tempo. Continues to be a back and forth game. You said it, Jim Nesso, for how long?
That is the question on everyone's lips right now. Brisbane Deceptors, they've looked good. They just haven't got that reward for pushing forward and keeping Sydney Raw on their toes, but they need to be careful.
No. Great save there by Steve. Careful, a key word.
I was going to say, it's moments like that that keep your heart in your mouth for Brisbane Deceptors.
Getting through the back line there. Jake defending the backboard well. Shady underneath the ball. This is an opportunity for the Deceptors. The upfield passing again. Steve hits it against the wall, but Yeatsy's been beaten out. Now left for Jake. It's actually not going to be the greatest bounce. Raw just have a shot on net, but it's wide. CJ comes through. This is the opening net. Is it on target? It is not. Brisbane Deceptors need to clean it up. They don't. Yeatsy goes high. And 40 seconds remaining. The Raw might have done enough here. How much longer can we hold on? "30 seconds here, Jim. Wins out by Express. Yeatsy's hung back, but it's a solo play. He hits it low. Back over to CJ. He hangs on the wall. Some good touches here by Brisbane Deceptors. This might be their last play through the air. Steve goes slow. Jake now needs to come in fast as anything. Steve in off the wall. 10 seconds remaining. He's got enough boost. He drops it. Yeatsy. Jake needs to finish it. He piles it on, but it goes high. The defense from Express once more seems to be the saving grace. The ball needs to hit the ground. And it might just do that. Yeatsy with Steve against Jake. Oh, 0 seconds. Thank you, the Lords of Overtime, for blessing this game. What was I saying, Jim Nesso? Oh, it looks like it's over. It looks like a 1-all. Put that in the back for now, and let's go into overtime.
You can't discount Brisbane Deceptors. It's the second time a 0-second goal for them has counted, and
oh no,
they've got to be careful though. It goes both ways.
Off the backboard, CJ had an opportunity. The pressure back on. It was Jake who silenced the momentum from Sydney Raw. Can it be Jake to finish it off in game 2? CJ from the side, what a pinch. Dangerous moments here by the Raw. Yeatsy comes back in. This is the moment, Jim Nesso. CJ in off the backboard. Some good solid defense. Jake just goes straight back down. Shady doesn't save this one away. CJ tries, and he doesn't fail. Yeatsy, the demo's onto him. 45 seconds into overtime. Express loses the ball. It's CJ who comes in red hot. That backboard needs to be defended well. Steve pummels it out of there. But for how long? Express with a miss. You can't be doing this in overtime. Yeatsy's gotten free blood. Jake's there as well. Steve's coming in red hot. The Deceptors, they're capitalising well. The pass down to Yeatsy. It hits the roof and all the way through. Boy, oh boy, what an opening game here for Week 5 of Gfinity Elite Series. Jake looking to make it even better. CJ comes in. Express was the last defender, but it's not over yet. Yeatsy needs to turn around. Steve needs to come back up. But the punch through might just slow things down.
Oh man, this has been end-to-end stuff. It's been high action, but Brisbane Deceptors, they've had their moments. I would have said that in regular time as well. Can they find one last moment here?
The angle's there towards net. It bounces. Shady doesn't save it. It's almost in. It goes. Oh, Steve again. What an opener here for Week 5. Steve commits. It works out. And Game 2 falls in favour of Deceptors. Match point against the Raw.
I didn't think I'd ever hear those words uttered in the league season. Brisbane Deceptors, don't get me wrong, have been great. But Sydney Raw have been the team in the league thus far, and I think this is full credit to Brisbane Deceptors. They've come a long way as a side. I would have said in regular time they had their moments. They had their moments to score and potentially win it in regular time. The fact that Sydney Raw were looking good, they found those last gasp goals and turned things back around.
Again, one moment changed everything. And at this point, you're going, the Raw have taken back control. There has been so much power to them. And at 0 seconds, just Jake again, but it was all the Deceptors here, Jim Nesso. It wasn't just one.
No, it was. It was a full team effort, and I think that shows that these guys are developing well as a team. And in the end there, that overtime goal that Steve scored is a result of a lot of pressure being built up and sustained over the course of the game.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get into more games. However, we've got to give you a bit of a break as well. So it's time to go behind the scenes to see how our teams prepare backstage. It's Dare Drink It Through time.
Drink it through with Dare Iced Coffee.
Hey, Focusrite, it's great to see you here today. How are you going?
Yeah, really well, thank you.
So, unfortunately, Avant, you guys are out of the finals race, but you can still cause an upset this week. What can we expect from Avant this week?
We're just trying to do our best, try to get the win out today. We've been putting in a lot of work this week, individually and as a team. So we just want to try our best out there and try to get the win.
How has it been playing on the Gfinity Elite Series stage this season?
It's been an absolute honour. I've learnt a lot as a player and have grown quite considerably. Obviously just trying to get out there and try our best for this week.
So you came into the roster about halfway through the season. How do you handle that pressure? How do you handle the heat?
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of eyes on me to perform. Obviously, I'm the least experienced player on the team. So just in order to keep cool, keep relaxed, we definitely use one of these guys to keep cool under the Australian heat.
I love it.
Drink it through with Dare Iced Coffee.
Welcome back to the Hoist Gfinity Esports Arena at the Entertainment Quarter in Sydney. As you can see, some of the shots of all the action that happens down here. If you want to join us each weekend live, get your tickets at hoist.com.au/Gfinity. We have an awesome time here. We've got a live crowd and they absolutely love it. Right now, Brisbane Deceptors are up 2-0 over Sydney Raw. No one predicted it. None of our casters. Absolutely popping off right now. I mean, you didn't see it coming, did you, Yummy?
No, they've done what the Chiefs couldn't do last week, which was to take not just one game, but two. Brisbane Deceptors, they always just feel like they can hold out at that 0-second mark. They've done it multiple times this season. And if they win this game, they can take the top of the ladder, get themselves in a matchup against maybe not the Chiefs or the Raw, and then get against Sydney Raw in the grand finals and take the win there.
I cannot wait to see what happens. Let's head back right into our next game. Yeah, make some noise, guys. Back over to you, Jim and Jake.
Oh, we will make noise. Thank you very much, Luke. Jim Nesso, Jake, doesn't matter right now. Game 3 for Brisbane Deceptors is going to be a big one. You got to think, if Deceptors can do this, then we go towards semi-finals next week, grand finals, and everything's on the line.
Yeah, as I was saying previously, it just shows how much they've grown as a side and really, I guess, taken the best step forward in their careers. And it's all through the guidance of Jake. Obviously, Jake, he knew he was going to be a key feature of this game. Sydney Raw have targeted him, but it's not him solely that they have to worry about. It's Sexy Steve and it's it's Yeatsy as well. Yeatsy's also coming into his own. But
we're apparently sticking with that name.
Yeah,
Game 3, Brisbane Deceptors, Sydney Raw, Jim Nesso. They've had a bit of a break. Let's see how they go, revitalising into this third game.
And they very nearly concede off the kickoff as well. It was a strong point for them last week, but they need to be careful. Sydney Raw, again, they're going to come back fast. They're going to be direct, and it has been some breathing space for them in this break between the games, so they've had time to recoup.
Oh, good shot down. Can't be saved. The opener there for Sydney Raw. And that's a great start to Game 3 for them. Just a simple pass out of the corner there, Jim Nesso. Fortunately, Jake couldn't do anything about it, so good life signs here for the Raw.
And that's bread and butter for Express as well. So for him, easy goal. Good start for Sydney Raw. Good signal of intention.
Settle down, Raw. Just because you got one doesn't mean another one's going to come that quickly. Jake, the good pass off the backboard.
There we go.
For the Deceptors. All right. I thought we were going to have a bit of a blowout. That break was going to hurt us a bit, but Jim Nesso, I think it's only made it better.
No, game on, Brisbane Deceptors. Game on, they say. Almost immediately they reply. And I mean, it's a mirror of the first two games. Brisbane Deceptors scored first. Sydney Raw, instant reply.
Are we gonna
Same thing's happened again.
Are we going to have a 3-0? That's the question. Wow. Because Yummy Cheeseman said, I think it's going to be a 3-0. But obviously he wasn't backing the Deceptors there. So anyone's game right now. One apiece into third game. Things getting exciting. CJ. The dribble comes through. But where's the rest of Sydney Raw? They're pushed up, but just not on the ball. Jake's made his way forward as well. Shady there with the dribble. Gets it past. CJ accompanies him, but look at the infield pass to Express. Angled perfectly. Yeatsy saving grace. With the pressure now on from the Raw. Express in front of net, bumping away Steve. Jake gets it through, but only just.
Now they need to make sure that they defend their own net. Sydney Raw. Brisbane Deceptors have come out hard and fast. We thought maybe they've pulled off in the break, but not to be the case. They've kept pressure up, they've kept the tempo, and they're going to work their way back into this game and keep Sydney Raw honest.
Pass away to the corner into CJ, the infield denied. Jake coming forward. This is a perfect angle for the Deceptors. Steve comes in trying to hit that same angle. It's up to Yeatsy. He doesn't find the touch either. Jake rotates back in though. Look at the pressure built up. Steve comes back in. It's amazing to see that Brisbane Deceptors have once again held up at the demo in front of net. It's Jake who gets taken down. Express doesn't have enough boost, but the pop-up's still good. Shady denied by Jake as he comes back. This leader for the Deceptors is doing so much work. Yeatsy comes back in. Jim Nesso. Still no decider here in this Game 3.
There's been no decider thus far. The Brisbane Deceptors have looked very, very solid. And Sydney Raw, they are a threat. They are very, very potent in attack, so they need to be careful.
That touch coming down on off the roof was huge.
Yeah, they need to keep their lines clean, should I say, here, Brisbane Deceptors. They need to make sure they get rid of those balls. Uh-oh.
Boy, close one there. But you're right. Things haven't been clean so far. 2 minutes 30. And the cleaner play usually taking it out. Jake's there, directly on net. Good passes in off the wall. Yeatsy might be able to keep the play down here for a little bit longer as Jake picks up boost and recovers nicely. The infield over to Steve, but CJ there first. Opportunity now for the Raw. The demo in net. It's on target.
There we go. Sydney Raw, they strike back, and they strike back with intent too. Look at this demo in the back of the net. Yeatsy, he didn't stand a chance. Express on a mission. But Sydney Raw, they find themselves that extra goal to get themselves in front now. 2-1 to score, and Brisbane Deceptors, they've done great work thus far, but they're going to be asked to come back from behind.
Well, they've done it before, Jim. Why can't they do it this time? For the Raw, confidence needs to be built. CJ, he's there again. Express gets set up, but the block from Yeatsy. Each individual player from the Deceptors needs to step up even further now. The miss there won't cut it, but Express decides to pass it against the wall. Yeatsy will get yet another save, but the Raw are still down here, still punishing them. Shady says, no, we're not stopping the play just yet. The Raw keeping up the pressure, the fake away. CJ ends up hitting the ball center into that goal square, and Yeatsy just needs to clear it. He's finally done it, but in front of net, Yeatsy! Oh, he twists and he turns.
Oh, the pressure.
Yeatsy.
And Brisbane Deceptors have been very fast in that ball. There's been no breathing room for Sydney Raw whatsoever. And they find themselves a goal where you thought there wasn't really much on for them. But Sydney Raw need to make sure that they keep their game clean. They've missed a few balls uncharacteristically, and maybe that will come back to haunt them.
You see demolition was attempted there by the Raw, but back down this side of the field, pressure once again on. A good pass over to Shady, the commit up from Yeatsy, but no one else there apart from Steve. He'll get away with it, but no boost to play with. It's the Raw's ball. Intercept from Jake, maybe says otherwise. From the corner, good positioning for Yeatsy. Hitting the roof, straight back down. They've missed it. Steve can't turn around in time. Leaves it for Express. Jake comes back in. Express trying to get the demo. Bump away from that defense. But the Deceptors playing around the midfield. It looks like a bit of a fake, or maybe a miss from Jake. 45 seconds, Steve from the corner, the bounce down, they don't have control of this ball. It's back over to Shady. The defense is not there, but they can't pierce and penetrate through. 30 seconds remaining. We wait with bated breath. Is overtime where we belong for game 3? Can the Raw somehow bring this back? We're not going to give you another episode. We're going to decide right now. A massive clear from the Deceptors. This could work in their favour. Shady will respond likewise. It's up to Yeatsy. Shady goes under the ball. CJ lobs it towards net. The goal square there. They want it to touch the ground. And overtime, we return.
Here we are, overtime in game number 3. And boy, oh boy, tension rising. Brisbane Deceptors, can they do it? Can they take the Raw 3-0? Or will Raw fight their way back in?
From the corner. Was a bit of an opportunity, but not going to commit forward. Safety plays here in overtime to stay in this series. The Raw may have secured top 4, but they want seeding here. Demolition. It's on to Steve. Defense now going to be a big factor. Yeatsy coming in off the roof. Shady lobs it to Express. Steve comes back in. A good pop-up, but Jake reads it well. Pass over to the side of Yeatsy. CJ gets there first. Now he doesn't have enough boost to play with, and Jake does. So he'll lob the ball up after Yeatsy gets demoed. Steve with the cross. Back to Express. Express gets demoed on the way out. CJ with the pass up, denied. Express comes back in off the wall. Opportunity now for the Raw. Yeatsy pummels it away with that clear. The Raw trying to commit forward. They don't find it. Steve's so close. Jake just needs to lob it in. The backboard, the crossbar. Everybody's involved. It's a party in front of Sydney Raw's net, and you're all invited. A minute past in overtime. No decider yet.
And this party has plenty of cake, let me tell you that. But dear, oh dear, Brisbane Deceptors, they've come close. They need to put the finishing touches on. Sydney Raw frazzled.
Deceptors break through that defence once again, Jim Nesso. 3-0. 3-0. Yummy cheese, man. You were right, but not in the way you anticipated.
And they learned some hard lessons against the Chiefs, and they've applied it. They've done their homework, and the crowd are very, very happy with that one. So should Brisbane Deceptors be. They played out of their skins. Sydney Raw, They played well, but not well enough. There were a few uncharacteristic misses in there, and that cost them.
Brisbane Deceptors, what a performance. Individuality in this roster was as potent as ever. At the start of the day, we were talking about growth and how they got to this point, how they secured top 4 under the leadership of Jake. But also, Stephen Yeatsy today, such a big, big factor in this team coming together.
And I think Yummy accidentally called them Decepticons. They've definitely transformed into a new side. So in terms of what they're bringing now to the table, I'm so impressed. These guys are looking good at the right time of the season. And I mean, this is where you show your championship credentials, and taking down, I guess, the best team in the league. That really opens things up.
You have to say, going forward now, the semi-finals, the grand finals, have a big twist put inside them.
They do. They do. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe whatsoever, and I think that is going to set up the rest of the day nicely.
I look forward to it. However, standing by with the unexpected winners, Ash is with Captain Jake.
Thanks, guys. Jake, congratulations. That was some magical gameplay. You guys were on fire. Where is this fire coming from?
We were playing with a lot of confidence, I guess. We were just doing whatever the hell we wanted, and it was working.
You had an amazing 0-second goal. What was happening on comms at that point, or is everyone kind of silent, holding their breath?
I was really pissed off because Express got like a really nuts save, and I was like, oh, what the hell? But then, you know, we just did our thing. They all missed the ball. That helped.
Well, how has your comms been going? All of your internal communications with each other, it seems like it's really improving over the entire season. How important is communication in a game like this?
Oh, it's just really important that you're all on the same page as a team, and it's really hard, so comms do help a lot. So because we're a new team, it was a bit difficult at first, but we're really getting into the groove of it.
Yeah, you guys really are. It was fantastic gameplay to watch. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Back to you, Luke.
Yeah, congratulations, Jake. What a game, Yummy. No one saw it coming out of any of the predictions, yeah?
No one predicted Raw. I mean, no one predicted Deceptors. And not only that, no one would have predicted a 3-0 for Deceptors.
Huge
That's
win.
a big surprise. Again, after Raw took down the Chiefs 3-0 last week, it's been completely turned on its head. The tables have been turned upside down. And now Deceptors are in a spot where they can take the first spot.
But we do want to get into some analysis right now. We're going to look a little bit at Shady first, though. Yes?
Yeah, for Shady, we did see it was a rough series for Raw. It was partly, I think, they weren't on top of their game, but also the Deceptors are really good at putting them off their game. They were intercepting a lot of plays. So these pass plays that we did see every now and again, half the time they were getting shut down, and that's the way that Sydney Raw score their goals. So there were some moments of brilliance, a lot of misses too, unfortunately, for Sydney Raw.
Speaking of moments of brilliance, let's have a look at that huge goal from Jake. Is that where we're going next in Game 2?
We've got 2 goals here from Brisbane Deceptors. It was the Game 2. This was the crucial one. Right here on the 0-second mark to tie up the game. And every single one of their goals really felt like it was a teamwork goal. It took all 3 members right here to keep them in the game, to get them into overtime. And then all throughout the match, it was so much of Jake and Steve in that attack, working together, getting the 1-2 pass, and Jake getting a lot of these interesting setups. They were getting more than 2 goals a game. They were able to score a lot on Sydney Raw, and they were able to defend at the same time.
What a team, what a team. Right now, it's time to announce our Astra MVP for that match. Yummy cheese, man. I have a bit of a vibe about who it might be based on some of the gameplay, but I want to hear from you who your MVP selections are for the Week 5 clash we just saw between Deceptors and Raw. Who have you chosen?
Well, everyone from the Deceptors gets a shout-out. Yeatsy, he was actually really crucial in the back half. He was the one getting all the way back to the pitch, making sure the defence was well covered. And Steve was so crucial to sit there in attack and get the goals, including the Game 3 winner as well, in overtime. Really cool, calm, collected, a completely different Steve than we saw at the start, but the same Jake that we saw at the beginning of the season, his 3rd MVP of the season as well. He got 4 goals, 5 saves. He was setting up a lot. He's become a completely different player. He was unpredictable. He was getting these touches off the backboard that Sydney Raw weren't able to read, and he set up goals for both of his teammates throughout the entire series.
He's such a strong player and such a talented leader for his team. Jake, you are the Astro Headsets MVP for that match. My goodness, there is heaps more Rocket League action coming your way in just a moment. And if that last match is anything to go by, it's only going to get better. It's do or die for Perth Ground Zero and Melbourne Avant coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon. Please give it up the Melbourne Avants!
I'm Ben Raiden, aka Focusrite. I've been playing Rocket League since the start, so it's about 3 years now. I haven't been playing super competitively until about a year ago. Now I can't put it down. I grew up playing a lot of real sports, AFL, soccer, swimming and tennis. Rocket League really feels like a real sport without having to leave my house.
There is a chance and Focusrite finds his first goal.
My gamer tag came from my chosen career path in audio engineering, Focusrite being a brand in audio. My best skill is probably my leadership and my communication skills.
Oh, question.
Okay. Nice. All I want to do out of Gfinity Season 2 is just improve as a player. There's a lot of talent and experience out of everybody who's playing in Season 2. Being one of the maybe weakest players in the pool, I think it's really important for me to learn and try to adapt and gain from that experience.
There's their open net, the counter-attack punched in.
Well, Melbourne Avant might be out of the running for the semi-finals, but Focusrite has definitely got some valuable experience under his belt with his teammates in the Gfinity Elite Series. Now, we're not far away from seeing Avant take on Perth Ground Zero today, coming up very soon. But right now, don't forget, there's a brand new Alienware M15 laptop up for grabs this season. You can totally have it. It's the thinnest and lightest 15-inch Alienware gaming notebook ever. You can enter by sending through a selfie from the Alienware activation zone right here at the arena, or just go to gfiniesports.com.au for other ways to enter and all the details on that. Right now, let's check the standings where they sit right now after the first match. So as you can see, Brisbane Deceptors have climbed to the top of the table. 12 points right there. Sydney Raw just behind them. Now, the asterisk does mean these teams are yet to play today, so that's all the rest of the 4 teams we see there. Sydney Chiefs right down to Melbourne Avant. So anything could happen. We're about to get into our second match. Starting with Perth Ground Zero's lineup, Cheeseman. Despite that heavy loss to Deceptors last week, there are no changes.
No changes whatsoever. They're sticking it out thick and thin, and they have been together for a while now. They know that they can play better than they have been throughout the season, and they're still well and truly in it. They need to take down Avant today. They need to do it convincingly just to have a chance, and they'll be still waiting on order and that result if they do win.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the positives were hard to come by for Ground Zero last week. Walcott featured in a couple of goals, but Cheeseman, they really need consistency if they're going to stand any chance in the semis, yeah?
And Walcott has been playing better this last week. He was the best I've ever seen him, and he was getting a lot of the goals. Lim, unfortunately, not the all-star player that we've seen from even Season 1 of the Gfinity Elite Series, where he was on the sub-roster for the Chiefs. So if Lim can step up, if he can be a big part of that trio, then we might see a lot more coming out from Ground Zero.
Yeah, well, we're going to turn to their opponents right now. Melbourne Avant, who are desperate to pick up some points before bowing out of Season 2. Cheeseman, talk to me about their lineup.
I'm almost more excited to see if these guys can get a single point this season than I am to see if Ground Zero can contend for top 4. These guys have stuck together, they've got Focusrite. I think they've really decided to keep him on the roster, which is great to see. He is the young gun, he is the inexperienced player who is getting better across the season. But right now it's all about Bango. Last week he got 7 goals. He was massive. He got all 7 goals, I should say. Yeah. He almost took out the MVP. He was massive. He even got this big 0-second goal in that 4th game that almost brought back the entire series. That could have left them in contention for the top 4 still. They fell unfortunately short, but there's some big plays here. There's some really good plays coming out from Avant.
Yeah, definitely. Well, right now, let's get the teams out here. Big second match of the day. So please put your hands together right now, guys, for Perth Ground Zero. Ghost, Lim and Walcott. GZ fans in today. All right, now make some noise for their opponents. It's their final Gfinity appearance for this season, so go nuts for Melbourne Avant. Vive, Bango and Focusrite. Live gameplay is coming up. Ground Zero and Avant up next. On the way out, though, Jake from Brisbane Deceptors has a few tips to improve your game in the next episode of our Path to Pro series, which is giving you the edge thanks to Alienware.
Hi, I'm Jake from Brisbane Deceptors for the Gfinity Elite Series, and I'm here to guide you on your path to pro thanks to Alienware. The best ways to study your opponents or just people you admire is to download the replays. You can find them a lot on Reddit or Twitter. Watch the tournaments, so you can watch the Gfinity or other tournaments and really focus on that player and seeing the things they're doing well and what makes them good. Lastly, you can watch their streams. So a lot of individuals stream and they like to promote themselves, and you can watch that and see how they practice. When trying to analyze opponents, you want to find where are their weaknesses, where do they struggle, and then you want to hit that hard. And then you also want to know what are their strengths, what are they really good at capitalizing on, and then not giving them those opportunities. The meta in Rocket League is really interesting. The 3 regions are quite different. To keep up with it, you want to be watching all the tournaments you can, really seeing the professionals playing at the highest level and then trying to emulate that. Best of luck on your Alienware Path to Pro.
We create machines that make every experience more intense and real. With Intel Core processors so powerful, you can redefine reality. Because the best feature of a gaming machine is the power to make you forget it's there.
Murray. Have you decided on a name?
We're thinking Callum.
Calamari.
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 Let's make it Jack.
Drink it through with Dare iced coffee.
Like it's nothing. Come on, better kick it. Go. Oh, good job, team. Good job.
Welcome back. We're just moments away from our second Rocket League match of the day, brought to you by Astro Headsets and Dare Ice Coffee. Perth Ground Zero are fighting to keep their semi-final hopes alive right now against the bottom-placed Melbourne Avant. Now, if you'd like to be part of our audience for the finals, which start next weekend here at the Entertainment Quarter in Sydney, you can get your ticket at hoyts.com.au/Gfinity. It's going to be a huge finals season. I can feel it coming. Some big gameplay. Yummy Cheese Man. This next match, Ground Zero or Avant celebrating at the end of it. Who do you think?
It should be a close one. It's going to be tough, and I still believe that Avant can get a point here in this series. So it's going to be Ground Zero 3-2, with Avant getting the 1 point.
But you think Ground Zero are going to take it out?
Yeah.
All right, well, we will find out right now. Second match of the day. Going to head over to Jake and James. Huge round of applause for both teams, guys, as we head into it. Or not, you know, see how you feel.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that was a no, I think. Yep.
All right, thanks, Luke. It's not your turn to talk. It's now James. I almost called you James. It's Jim's turn to talk, and myself, my inspiration for my shirt.
Only when I'm in trouble do I get called James.
That's all right.
Which is a lot, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll call you Jim because you're not in trouble right now. The team that's in trouble is Perth Ground Zero. Avant, they've got really nothing to lose here. They can play, I guess, Kingmakers, but in a way, they can play spoiler, as very well said by someone backstage. This is Perth Ground Zero at their form because I think they've been getting better and better. They have an opportunity to kind of cement their position in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, last week was a blip on the radar per se, but let's just see how they go here. Avant, they're looking hungry for a win, and they played better last week. Let's see if they can add all the right ingredients to this recipe they've got.
Well, set things up there, Melbourne Avant. They need to do something in this series. Game number 1 upon us. And Focusrite, can he make a bit of an impact here? It's another question. That's an open net. Great way to open there for ground 0.
Oh, Vant, there was nobody home for that one. And, I mean, this is end-to-end stuff. Ghost has just popped that one over Vibe. Not a lot he could do on that.
First goal, Perth ground 0. And we were talking about this off air, that for Perth ground 0, it goes to game 5 more often than not. And against Melbourne Avant, you kind of don't want that to happen. Game 5 could go either way. That first goal definitely opens things up. Focusrite from the corner, set up for Bango. Vibe pushes up to the midfield. Slower pace of play to what you just witnessed before. That's okay. Pop up there, perfect for Lim. Off the backboard, Demo. And Walcott can't come up either.
Let's be careful here, Perth ground 0. As we said, they're fighting for their finals chances. Melbourne Avant, they can cause a real upset if they get going, and we've seen some vital signs from them in the previous weeks, and I think we'll need to see more from them if they're going to take this series. But Melbourne Avant just hovering around that net, looking for something. Hasn't been revealed just yet, but Perth ground 0, another chance to sneak that ball in.
Well, bump mid-course there. Vibe and Ghost just have it on. Focusrite doesn't get the touch on the ball. Vibe just straight through the middle. That's Melbourne Avant's window.
And they pounce. You can see Lim touch right into the path of Vibe and couldn't react in time for that one. So they find a square here. Melbourne Avant, they square that ledger. And who knows from here. Perth ground 0, they've been finding openings. They've been getting those passes into the right areas. They've just lacked the final touches on some of these chances. They need to be more clinical. Melbourne Avant may find themselves back in this match if they keep finding openings in the defence.
If they can open this series, everything's going to be changed. Perth ground 0 will be knocked out. And Melbourne Order will get pretty much a free ticket against the Chiefs. No pressure on them whatsoever. At the very least, ground 0 need to win this first game, need to win this series to get off to a great start. Lim with the angle there, the shot on net, perfect way.
Straight past the goalkeeper as well. Straight on goal. Lim, Yummy Cheeseman said he needed to see more from Lim. He's had such promise in the way that he's shaped up. And now it's time for him to deliver. It's the business end of the season. They potentially are in the semi-finals next week, so they're going to need production from their key players. He's one of them.
Think about this. Melbourne Avant are already out. This game could depend on whether Melbourne Order are out as well. Focusrite, great save, but it's not enough. Looks like a bit of a shellacking in process here in game 1.
Melbourne Avant needs to clear those lines. You can see Vibe was close, but the path of Ghost, he takes no prisoners. He's been a clinical player in front of goal, and that one for him was just too easy.
Let's keep an eye out there. Melbourne Avant have to recover this. Good second touch there from Vibe, going straight into the goal square, but no one up there in time. Clears essential now. Bango lobs it towards net. A good save by Ghost. Bango coming in for the challenge. No boost available on the defense there of Perth ground 0, but AV got a bit of time to play with, as is their nature. The angle perfect again. Demo over the smoke. The ball doesn't find its way in. Lim coming in aggressive again, but just hands it back off, and infield perfect for Walcott. They hang back. Such a slower pace of game here, Gimnesso. It's night and day between what we just saw.
It is, but we expected that. Both these two teams, very slow compared to Brisbane Deceptors and Sydney Roar in the way that they play, but need to make sure that these passes are on point because that's their game style.
We'll forget that Ghost missed the boost just then before. It might not matter as AV have the runaway Vibe with the breakthrough. Lim can't save it, but Ghost can. Ground 0 survive. A very crucial save to maybe keep game 1 a little bit safe. Rather set themselves up for game 2. Ghost with the breakthrough. Walcott's there through the smoke. Do we find the net? Not this time.
Through the fire and the flames, they can't find anything thus far, but Bango, he gets a release, and that allows Melbourne Avant to just get some more boost in the tanks. Both these two teams, we said they play slow. Missing boost doesn't help that whatsoever, but need to be careful here. Melbourne Avant, they can't play with their food.
Vibe, bit of a standout here. He won't save this one though. And suddenly it's turned around once more. Melbourne Avant felt like they had an opening window before. Perth ground 0 seal it shut.
this place is potentially, if Perth Ground Zero take this series, it all comes down to that Chiefs order game.
But at this point, Perth Ground Zero, it's safe to say they look like they've secured game one. So Jim Nesso, we get a bit of a chance here as they keep breaking through and punishing that defense. Look at how this series could go. Right now for Melbourne Avant, they've struggled. 0 and 4 on the board. Perth Ground Zero in the same sense, they've only picked up 1 win. Taken a lot of 3-2s, that's why they're still in this with the points. AV right in front of net. It's their opportunity, but that one goes wide. If that goal came through, maybe a different story, but it does not. Good passing play here from Ground Zero. Lim just needed to connect with that ball. But again, sorry Jim, caught up in my own story. AV, the pressure should be off here.
It should be, and they should be playing, with pressure released, should I say, and they just need to find themselves some confidence boosting goals, because I feel as though they could be a real threat to Perth Ground Zero. Perth Ground Zero aren't clinical. Yes, Perth Ground Zero created a lot of chances here and again. Melbourne Avant have been punished for not clearing their lines properly and being caught at the back. And there we go, Lim once again scores himself that, I believe, a hat-trick as well. So, I mean, for him, there's been a lot of open nets.
Such a great way to finish as well here, Jim Nesso. The defense really struggling from Melbourne Avant, but Perth Ground Zero looking cleaner than previous weeks. They're going up against a team that is confirmed out. Perth Ground Zero, a week to be in form. It's good that it's this week. They'll take away game one. And now you start questioning as this goal goes through, how are the rest going to look? Is it going to be this dominant? Is it going to be this eye-opening? The difference in skill being showcased. Or are AV going to be able to pull their way back and play spoilers?
I think, traditionally game one, though, as we said, sometimes you see teams, they're just blowing out the cobwebs in the way that they play. It isn't a real indicator of how things are going to go. But, I mean, I feel as though with this particular matchup, if Avant don't get themselves into this match early on, because there's no pressure, they've also got nothing to lose, but they've got nothing to play for either. So they need to get themselves going. They can still influence this bracket, and I think for them, confidence is key going forward. You can see that they did have some signs of life there. Vive, obviously, the faster they played, they caught their opposition off guard. And I think they need to just up the pace a little bit to be able to take it to Perth Ground Zero.
Vive looked like the star of the show at some points. And unfortunately, it was Bango and Focusrite that just didn't have the same impact. Maybe if they start working as a cohesive unit, maybe if the consistency is all across the board, we see a very different game two, very different game three. But Ground Zero, Jim, they looked exactly where they needed to be, which is in form, which is in style.
Yeah, and that defensive mindset from Avant, throw that out the window, guys. You need to get into this match and get yourself some quick goals. And I think, game two is going to be a real key indicator for them, whether or not they're going to get themselves into this series.
It's an indicator as well. If Perth Ground Zero make top four, where will they sit? Will they be able to challenge and go into the finals? This series will give us an indication of what they look like going towards next week.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. This is crunch time for them. So important that they get themselves off to the right start for their finals campaign. As we said, week 5, huge indicator for finals form.
But they need to make it at least game 2 and game 3. That coming up next after this.
Mr. Murray, have you decided on a name?
We're thinking Callum.
Callum Murray.
Callum Murray.
Callum Murray.
Let's make it Jack.
Drink it through with Dare iced coffee.
3 days ago, Coda announced that Zero would join Cell 7 in the upcoming Soma Worlds tournament. After so many league victories, switching teams this close to the tournament appears to be a deliberate move to destroy Coda's chance at the title.
Perfect start for Perth Ground Zero here at the Gfinity Elite Series. 1-0. And they just broke away in game one, Gimnesso.
As we said, they need to find their stride. Finals are coming up, and they need to, I guess, stake their claim on that 4th spot.
This is how they start to make it. How for everyone watching at home, we're going to reward you for sticking around. Head to gfinity.incentloyalty.com and use the drop code on your screen. This time it is GFirstTouch to earn some currency or add some currency to your wallet. We've only got a limited amount of time to go to the website and enter that drop code and get paid. You receive 20 incent for each drop code all weekend, but don't worry about missing the action. You can keep watching the match from the rewards website. So what are you waiting for? I'm waiting for nothing. I'm waiting for the game to start. It's Perth Ground Zero who have led the charge. Looking in fine form against AV, and we said AV can play spoilers, but how much can they put up against Perth Ground Zero at the moment as we head into game 2?
All will be revealed here. The Melbourne Avant, as we said, they need to get themselves off to a great start, and there's a chance here off the kick-off potentially. The pop-up is in, and Bango opens the account for Melbourne Avant. Exactly what they needed coming into this match.
A good start there, and cheeky goals like that work so well in favour for Melbourne Avant. The 1-0 start that they want here in game 2. Crowd's going to have to keep showing that support. Ground Zero been known to falter, known to lose some of that confidence. See if they can recover back from an early goal.
Well, that's right. I mean, they've only got 1 win to their name, but they've been able to take games to that 5th game, or that 5th game in the series, but not close it out. So for them, it's just a question of whether or not they can deal with the pressure. And Walcott, perfect reply to that opener. It's only 30 seconds and 2 goals have been scored.
Aggression was coming up here, and Melbourne Avant just pushed forward, said, let's get another. Perth Ground Zero had other ideas, so 1 apiece, Gimnesso. And looks like we're back to a similar situation. See what important week to have the fans screaming out.
Just an important week to have a fan, let's be real, 35 degrees.
It's not that hot outside, but it might be hot in the arena though for these guys. Goes, plunges towards that net. Walcott looking to disrupt the play around the corner. Lim, steal away. Perth Ground Zero. See what they've got. Walcott pushes up, Limbs all the way back. This is for Bango now. Doesn't win over the challenge, but Focusrite should be able to participate in the play. 5 hanging all the way back from the corner. Ghost comes forward, a bit of a fakey. Bango pushes back up. Sends there, 5. Right through the middle. Powerful play there from AV.
Great pass from Bango here as well. Just edges it straight into the middle of the field. Even an assist there from Ghost, I think just a slight bump on Survive, who put that one in the back of the net. So Melbourne Avant edged themselves over Ground Zero 2-1, but a lot of time to play with. Ground Zero, as we said, playing for that final spot.
Five getting ambitious with the ball. We said he was the one on point. Showing it here in the second game, a much better start, but Ground Zero in perfect positioning here. The ball punched through the goal square. Goes trying to send it out as well. This is Bango's chance. A lob over to the side, but no clearance just yet. It's Walcott who won't get too much pace on that ball himself. Pinch out of the corner. Bango just lobs it around. 5 can't get through to it first. AV again in dangerous situations. No boost on the defense too. Ghost goes up. Bango manages to hold on. Defense continues to plunge forward. This time for AV it works out.
If you can get those passes going, it's important for Avant that they start stringing them together, because that could be the way in.
Oh, what's happening in the defense? Everyone bumping each other. Even though it was aggressive, focusing on something else, the ball comes back down. A good moment here for Perth Ground Zero. They push it back up off the backboard. The touchdown from Walcott. Backboard again. Into the net. Send it. Now AV gets a chance.
That third man through needed to be the strike force. Ghost didn't hit it. He hit it too high, and that should have been a goal for Ground Zero.
And now Melbourne Avant get the push on attack, and things get a little bit messier from the corner. Walcott sends it up, but the pass is too long. Ghost has to go forward once again. Focusrite has missed it. Bango only just recovers it. Ground Zero struggling to get through this defense, though. It seems to be the story. 2 minutes left remaining, and Bango, the solo play, individuality. The pass back to Focusrite, but 5 and Walcott get in the way. Clear is there. Bango Great save. But now they have to hold on in defense.
Tracking back and forward, Bango. Very nearly found himself some breathing room for Avant, but not to be. Perth Ground Zero strong in defense, and they're going to need to continue to absorb the pressure as they look to work their way out from the back.
Good clear there from Lim. Walcott drops it down. An interesting pass to get back there. Focus right in the way. Bango gets freedom. Walcott just tries to touch it down in front of that goal square. The centre again, but Lim and Ghost can't get through. Ghost tries to pass it around, but now Bango just gets free time. Set back to the naughty corner. Ghost now has his turn. The messier stuff, the pop-up, doesn't really work here for Ground Zero.
Avant though. For them, they've been looking good. Vibe takes one out of contention, but they need to clear that ball.
Should have found that. Second shot doesn't work out, but hang on, it's not over just yet. Lim over to Walcott. Interesting touches coming through. Melbourne Avant, 50 seconds to play with. They might have done enough. The way this game's going, he missed out of the corner. Demo onto Bango. Lim has to respect this. Up for the ball again. Over-ambitious play. Walcott gets up for it. Keeps it up and down. Ghost is here with the angle. 2-all.
And for that stretch of play, it was only the outstretched fender of Melbourne Avant that kept them in it, but they kept pressuring. They kept going forward. They kept doing, I guess, the right things for Ground Zero. They find themselves that equaliser with 36 seconds to play. Melbourne Avant need to find another reply if they're going to win this match.
So Perth Ground Zero, they need a clean win here. It'll set themselves up if they make it to next week, depending on how order go. Quick demo there onto Lim. Walcott hangs back, but the attack doesn't continue forward. Melbourne Avant, this is their chance. Bango with the solid play, tries to get the flip reset, almost backs it into the goal. Focus right comes in as well, but no one's in defense. This is Ground Zero, but Vibe with a solid touch to the side. That could be all she wrote. Walcott to the side again. It's Ghost who's waiting back. Walcott passes it through, but nothing is done with the ball. Bango tries to keep it up. The ramp will help out for now. AV want to stay in this one. It just needs to hit the ground here, Gymnast. So we'll take ourselves into overtime.
There were moments there Melbourne Avant could have had to put that one away, but here we are, overtime between these two teams. Perth Ground Zero.
And off the kickoff as well. You're right, Jim. Quick moments. How many more can we take? Vibe there with the angle directly on net. Bango comes through, but what a pinch. Back over to the side. Ghost with the infield over to the limb and hits the roof. Hitting down, favourable angle. The touch from Ghost is slim, but not there. Lim pops it up again. This is Ground Zero. 2-0.
Melbourne Avant surely going to be shaking their heads at that one. Ball just wasn't cleared. They threw as many car bodies in front of it as they could, and they could not stop that from going in. Ghost has a laugh because he knows they have to work hard for that goal.
And they know they need this win. At the moment, cleanliness doesn't matter. It could be a 3-2 at this point in their favour, but they just need the 3, whatever case.
And I mean, this game here, Bango really set things alight for Melbourne Avant. Obviously kicked things off nicely with that goal, but he was doing work. Yeah, literally. I worked that one in nicely. But in terms of his work ethic on the field, he was tracking back. He was getting himself in the right areas. He was saving that ball from going into the back of his own net, but then also creating chances to go forward as well. So Melbourne Avant are definitely going to be looking to Bango in this next match. As we said, it's series point now. Perth Ground Zero, they're staking their claim on that final spot. They need that win more than ever. And Melbourne Avant, credit to them, they're not giving it to them easy.
Perth Ground Zero, there were missed opportunities there. There were moments for Avant to capitalise and take over. But in the end, all that matters is the scoreline. It's 2-0, it's match point. Ground Zero have 3 games to play with, and they want to silence this in a 3-0. Game 3, here it comes. Jim, concern for Melbourne Avant. They've had opportunities this season to create upsets. They've had opportunities to put their best feet forward. And this game is showing me the difference between the two teams. Perth Ground Zero, Game 3. Can they silence it now? Set themselves up for next week. They'll rely on order if that's the case. And order will have to lose against the Chiefs. Opening now for Ground Zero. Punches it down. Good work by Lim.
Last week it was Perth Ground Zero getting punished off the kickoffs. They letting balls in, but this time They've turned that to their advantage. They've clearly capitalised on a blip from Melbourne Avant. They find themselves a very, very quick goal, 6 seconds in fact. And I guess that's been the theme so far. Very quick goals in the opening sessions. But Melbourne Avant, touches like that really make you question whether or not they've got the gusto to take this.
Well, Ghost coming in around the corner. Perth Ground Zero again. 3-0 would be so favourable. Already seen an unexpected matchup here today. Perth Ground Zero needs to bring the pace back, or at least bring back the normality. Walcott ambitiously trying to reach up, focus right on the defense, hands it off to Vive, but the defense play not going to work out too well here. Lim sets it up off the backboard, everyone forward. Bit of demo in that as well. Everything slows down.
Just some moments of respite here now for Melbourne Avant. They get themselves out of goals, but only just starting to get some boost back in the tanks. Perth Ground Zero coming thick and fast, but Vive deals with that. The ball's popped up nicely, but again, Perth Ground Zero just keeping Melbourne Avant on their own line, keeping them in defence until they're released.
Such a solid block there by Focus Ride. It transitions into that. And it's Bango who hits these angles. Good step forward here for Melbourne Avant. Perfect goal.
And again, it's going to rely on some solo plays here for Melbourne Avant. They haven't quite got the passing down. There has been some glimpses of it, but for them, getting back into this match, maybe on the back of Bango, maybe on the back of Vive as well, and just in terms of getting themselves into the mix, getting some goals, some confidence to try the passing plays, it's building blocks for them.
Those building blocks working their way towards blocking off that net. That's the defense of Perth Ground Zero. The attack, however, different story at the moment. Intercept from Bango. The infield off the wall is committed to by Focusrite. Not sure how this is going to turn out. Vive comes back in. Manages to nudge it to the side at the last second. Lim's up for that ball, actually wins it out. Bango doesn't win this one either. Dangerous plays. Melbourne Avant under a bit of pressure here. The backboard peppered up once more. Bango misses and Walcott takes it.
Some defensive areas led up to that one as well. You can see they didn't clear that ball. But Ground Zero are going to make you pay for that, particularly with Walcott. He's come in as that man on the rotation, usually the third in the rotation. And those backboard plays, Melbourne Avant really struggling to deal with them.
I just realised what the crowd was yelling about. They're spelling out Ground Zero.
We've got a spelling bee going on.
I feel like if you spell out the whole name, you're going to be there for a while. If you spell out Avant, you'll be there for, well, if you spell out Melbourne, that's the issue.
Significantly less time.
It would be. Avant, they're running out of that. Limited opportunities here, 2 minutes 40. Bango, he's run out of boost, won't be able to pick up the corner boost on the way either. Lim steals that away. Ghost, bit of a flimsy clear. This might open things up for Vive, but Walcott backs into the ball. Focusrite loses out the challenge, and these 50-50 trays just not working out. Instead, it's Perth Ground Zero taking back control. Bango will hit it away, but to who? Or to whom, rather. Ghost and Lim still pressuring up this goal. Trying to silence the attack of Melbourne Avant. I think it's working. Even piercing through doesn't seem to be working right now. Walcott comes to a standstill. Vive loses the ball once more.
Finally, Melbourne Avant doing a good job of just clearing those attacking plays from Perth Ground Zero and a chance to create something of their own, and that is not going to help things for Perth Ground Zero. They've only got a narrow lead right now for them. They need to find that next goal because that could really swing momentum away from Melbourne Avant. They've been doing a good job of building some pressure, but they need to capitalise and find a goal.
Vive spent his time bullying the side of Walcott. The intercept there again. Bango! Oh, that was powerful. That was a statement.
I was going to say, and this is where they need to be careful because if they give themselves too much space, more importantly, they give Melbourne Avant too much space, they can find a way back in and they'll beat you to those challenges. And that is going to be a very, very telling sign as to whether or not Perth Ground Zero are going to be deserving of that fourth final spot.
And they cannot afford to lose. Even at 3-2, getting that extra point would not save them. Vive looking to deny that again. Melbourne Avant, the play spoiler. They need to hold on. That's an ambitious infield pass. Perth Ground Zero, a bit of a pressure. It's mounting on them. Walcott clears it away. The bump over to Vibe. Focus right, that's not the touch you want. Hits off that back wall, the demo into the midfield. Does that take us to overtime? Well, 50 seconds will know. Walcott comes back in, blocked on the defensive AV.
The demo just allowed time to cool off a little bit in that attack, but Bango trying to start something on his own. As we said, individual plays might be the thing that gets him over the line here, Avant. Bango's certainly full of them.
Walcott and Lim both double committed towards that ball. Does it mean anything for AV? Constant question I have here in this series. The shot on net by Ghost. Lim comes through as well. Defense not there. Side post. Lim tries to recur his error. Ghost comes back in. Is overtime what we're looking at? Still, the pressure's on. The attack's there. Walcott with the angle. Lim just not there in time. He tries to recur it. Bango comes in. The dribble. Focusrite gets bumped away. Jim Neto, I think they might be safe here. They just want this ball to hit the ground. Let it hit. And it does. So overtime's where we belong.
Melbourne Avant just running into each other. Got their wires crossed for the moment, but we're here in overtime and they can get themselves potentially a game win in this series. It will be so important for them.
Oh no, not like this! Not like this! Perth Ground Zero, they'll secure the 3-0. Exactly like that, they'll be shouting. Especially if Order don't go through. That's a good way to finish. AV put up a fight, but it was not enough for Perth.
No, they secure their spot, at least in terms of finals contention, because now it comes down to that third game of the day, Chiefs versus Order. Order are now vying for that fourth spot because they have to take it away from Perth Ground Zero. They've done all they can, they've set themselves up, and their fate is in the hands of Order.
They have moments of brilliance, Perth Ground Zero, and going forward, that's what we'll be looking at if they make it to the semi-finals. Think about the contenders in the Gfinity Elite Series here. Think about how powerful they all are. Well, there's definitely some showcase here, but there's also some mistakes that need to be looked at.
And I think they just need to iron out those crinkles in what is otherwise a nice, neatly pressed shirt. We've seen a lot of potential from this Ground Zero lineup. Sometimes they haven't quite lived up to it, and there was a few moments here where Melbourne Avant themselves back into the match, and that was through, as we said, individual plays, but Bango, he was a real live wire for them this season, and there was some flashes of brilliance. He tried to turn that clock back to 2016, couldn't quite do it. I think Melbourne Avant, they need to go back to the drawing board in the off-season and just work out what they need to do. But for Perth Ground Zero, they're setting themselves up for that semi-finals run, potentially, if they make it. I mean, we're talking big ifs here, but if they get there, they need to make sure that they're clinical from start to finish.
It's quite amazing that Melbourne Avant put up such an effort for Perth Ground Zero. They were the team that we expected a little bit more from, but here we are.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm keen to now see where that goes in this next match. Chiefs versus Order, last game of the regular season. And, I mean, that just shows how closely contested the overall season was.
Yeah, and Melbourne Avant, they did put up a good fight, a great way, or at least a way to end their season. However, Ash is standing by as always, this time with Walcott.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, Walcott, congratulations. It was a solid 3-0 win. You guys have done all you can on your end to try and get your way to the semi-finals. Are you going to be holding your breath when it comes to Order versus Chiefs?
I'm going to go and just enjoy watching it. I'm not going to think about what the result means to us and just, yeah, have fun. It's what Gfinity is all about for us.
Well, you guys have been playing pretty well this season. You've been getting as many points as you can. Is that what's been on your mind, just trying to get as many points as you can?
Yeah, obviously you want to do well. We've taken a lot of series to Game 5s. I think only one that we lost wasn't a Game 5, and that was unfortunate because it turns out that would have made a big difference. But yeah, it's kind of upsetting that we haven't won all those Game 5s, but I mean, we've done our best. So.
Are you feeling confident that you're going to take that spot off Order, or are the defending champions a little bit dangerous?
Yeah, I think Requiem's going to smash them, so we'll be fine.
Oh, all right. Awesome. I look forward to it. Congratulations on your win, and I guess we'll find out the outcome very soon.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Luke.
Congratulations, Ground Zero. Still in with a chance at the finals. We will find out, though, depending on that last match, whether that happens right now. Let's launch into our MVP, thanks to Astro headsets. Yes, it's MVP time between Ground Zero and Avant. Yummy Cheese Man, who are your selections?
Well, all of the GZ members played well today. Lim, I think, in that first game, really stepped up, was quite good, and got his first hat-trick of the season. We do have Walcott. He's had some great performances week after week after week, and he continues to lead from the front. But the MVP of the day, or of this match, is Ghost. He had a big series, but most importantly, game number 2. He was incredibly crucial for them taking out that game. It went into overtime. It was a tough battle, and it was Ghost who finished it off. He's really stepped into this role. He's the newest member of this roster, and he continues to perform. He continues to get goal after goal, and it's exciting to see whether he can get into the finals later today.
Congratulations, Ghost. You are the Astro Headsets MVP for that match between Ground Zero and Avant. We have got one more match to go today, Order versus Chiefs. Now, this is a big one. It will decide who goes through to the finals. Don't go anywhere. This is the Gfinity Elite Series. It's Rocket League Sunday. We'll see you soon.
Mr. Murray, have you decided on a name?
We're thinking Callum.
Calamari.
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 Let's make it Jack.
Drink it through with Dare iced coffee.
Zen back on the backboard. Dumbo comes down. He gets a double touch instead. Doesn't even need his teammate. Melbourne Order once again have freedom and time. The shot from Jules. Easy does it.
When things get a bit easy, we tend to be a bit too overly relaxed and have a bit more of a laugh, which isn't always bad, but for us, we struggle to bring it back when we hit that phase as well.
Playing in a LAN environment tends to make people do things they don't usually do.
But denied once more. That net's open, but Jules misses. Order are just missing the ball.
Zen fluctuates emotionally a lot.
Oh my god, Jules! You actually gave me a stroke!
Yeah, Jules and Dumbo have been very supportive, regardless of how I play. They're usually very encouraging, usually.
Yes! Are you not entertained?
We have to make sure he's always happy, and if we do that, we'll be a rock-solid player, and we can rely on him.
It hits that back wall. He gets freedom, and the shot! Oh, Melbourne Order!
I think losing, winning, getting the full experience has really helped me get out my jitters, helped me perform a lot better.
He's an absolute showman, isn't he, Zen?
Are you not entertained? That's like my favourite part.
It's such a great catchphrase. You're not entertained. Huge stuff. Cannot wait to see the defending champions Melbourne Order in just a sec. They need to stay alert against Sydney Chiefs, though, today. Welcome back. You are watching the Gfinity Elite Series presented by Alienware. Let's have a look at the scores so far in Week 5 of Rocket League, brought to you by Dare Iced Coffee and Astro Headsets. A crucial week. David, talk to me about some of these results today, because, I mean, no one saw that first match coming, did they?
I wasn't expecting either of them to be a 3-0. Brisbane Deceptors, a major upset that put them at the top of the ladder, and Perth Ground Zero have done everything they can to hold themselves in here. Two big results, and Sydney Raw and Havana aren't going to be too happy.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the ladder. Speaking of it, Brisbane Deceptors sitting pretty at the top right there. That's how it's sitting right now. As you can see, Sydney Chiefs and Melbourne Order yet to play. Now, it's not as simple as Melbourne Order, if they lose this, that it's to Perth Ground Zero, is it? There's another possible result.
If they lose 2-3, they get that 1 point, and that puts them equal to Perth Ground Zero there, and they beat Perth Ground Zero previous week, which means in the tiebreaker, they go through. The other side, we also have Sydney Chiefs. They need to get the win to get on the top. Otherwise, they very likely end up against Sydney Raw, who they lost to in the playoffs. So it is really important for both
This will definitely be a match all the teams will be watching, because it affects everything. Let's have a look at the lineup both teams are bringing in. Melbourne Order's lineup first, of course. We got Jules, Dumbo and Zen. Strong lineup.
Very strong. They've been together every single week but one, and that 1 week was maybe a devastating loss where they had Daesu coming in as a sub, but from now on they will have this core lineup. They have worked together. We know that they've been practicing really hard this week for such an important match, so everything on the line, they should be bringing their best.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Jules has really made an impact in his first season in the Gfinity Elite Series. He had some classy touches against Avant last week, didn't he?
Most importantly, he's been so consistent. The times that really stand out is when he misses. You mean, you saw that goal that he missed when they were relaxing in that last week, and that was a surprise. That was a big difference maker in that series, but every single time you just see him score the goal, he gets up, he's very consistent, one of the best mechanical players in the region.
How important is Dumbo as well to this team?
Yeah, well, he's as solid as a rock.
Yeah.
He's the captain, he's the one who really thinks a lot about how they want to play. He's the one, really important, I say, off the pitch, during the week, really improving their gameplay.
Yeah, okay. Well, Sydney Chiefs, meanwhile, have rotated in their subs roster for this final week of league play. Now, Chiefs, man, this combination is interesting enough for a subs roster. They're the one that are undefeated for Sydney Chiefs.
Yes, but it was close in those first 2 weeks. It wasn't a dominant performance from them, but it doesn't matter. A win's a win. Requiem took the first 2 MVPs. Kia has been big as well, and change we have seen with some previous experience. So this isn't an unknown roster coming in trying to defend the title for the Chiefs. They're coming in with some class, with some experience and practice, and hopefully we'll be able to take him down.
Requiem picked up a couple of MVP awards earlier in the season, so we expect he'll be a threat today, don't you reckon?
Yeah, looking to get his 3rd one. He was big in those first 2 series. You could have argued that Kia got the first MVP, but Requiem took them both out in style, scoring lots of goals. Most importantly, he's able to get these touches that are so unpredictable. The opponents don't know where he's going to hit it, and that allows him to score goals, even some solo goals here that you don't normally expect. It's so, Rocket League has developed so much that you don't expect people to score goals by themselves. But Requiem, he'll just come out class every single time, get a good touch, and really carry the series forward.
Do you think if this team delivers today, they will take this team into the finals rather than bringing?
No, they'll bring the core roster in the
They'll bring it
finals
back.
no matter what.
Number 4 in the world, why wouldn't they?
Yeah, number 4 in the world. The core roster, they're over at Atlanta right now playing in E-League. Unfortunately, they got knocked out 5th place against the world champions.
Still impressive.
You can't blame them losing to Cloud9.
Yeah.
But they're going to bring that experience back, go into the playoffs and try and win. But they will still want to be avoiding Sydney Roar, who really seems to have their number.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's enough from us right now. Let's get our teams out here for the all-important final match of the day. Please make some noise right now, guys, for Melbourne Order. Dumbo, Jules and Zen. And now taking them on, please go clean up for Sydney Chiefs. Kia, Change and Requiem. Big match about to come up. Now, if you are watching right now on 10 Peach, we're about to say see you later. But if you want to keep watching, and why wouldn't you? Because all the Rocket League live action is about to kick off and get even more intense. Head to gfinitysports.com.au to stay with us, or you can see the full replay at 10play.com.au. If you're sticking around, we'll be back with more Rocket League in just a moment. Melbourne Order versus Sydney Chiefs. Huge match. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a sec.
We create machines that make every experience more intense and real. With Intel Core processors so powerful, you can redefine reality. Because the best feature of a gaming machine is the power to make you forget it's there.
Mr. Murray, have you decided on a name?
We're thinking Callum.
Calamari.
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 Let's make it Jack.
Drink it through with Dare iced coffee.
Like it's nothing. Come on, better kick. Good job, team. Good job.
Welcome back to the Hoyts Gfinity Esports Arena at the Entertainment Quarter in Sydney. Why not join us for the final series, which starts next weekend? Get your tickets at hoyts.com.au/Gfinity to be here live for all the action as it happens. Yummy Cheese Man is sitting at the desk with me right now, and I love having you here, mate. This final match, who do you see taking it home, Order or Chiefs?
Well, it's such an important match, which to me means that Order are very likely to crumble, unfortunately. So on the other side, Chiefs. even though Kia hasn't played since the last time he was on the stage, hasn't played Rocket League at all, I still think they'll be able to take it. They'll be having a lot of fun. They'll win. But I'm going to give it a 3-2 and Order will just clinch out that final spot.
Right, so you think it's going to be that weird third option where they still get through but take a loss. All right, we will see right now. It's time for our final match of the day, so we're going to throw it over to our casters, Jake and Jim. Take it away, fellas.
Thank you as always. It's all down to this. The Chiefs need to win this for ground zero to go through. If it is a 3-2, Order will be able to climb their way past. So you want this to be a 3-0, a 3-1 for Chiefs if you're a ground zero supporter.
Oh, exactly. And I think they're throwing all their support behind Chiefs at the moment, the ground zero fan club. So, I mean, why wouldn't you? Obviously, there's a lot on the line for them, but yeah, look, it's a pivotal match, and I think it's fitting that, you know, it goes down to the very last match of the season.
Yeah.
To determine our finals.
I think it's a great way to end the regular season for season number 2. But right now, for your last reward, we are, of course, going to reward you for sticking around. Head to gfinity.insetloyalty.com and use the drop code on your screen, this time GClear, to earn some currency. You've only got a limited time to go to the website and enter that drop code and get paid, and you receive 20 incent for each drop code all weekend. It's more. We started at 5, went to 10, but now it's 20. But don't worry about missing the action. You keep watching the match from the rewards website, and why wouldn't you with this match coming up here? It's Order's chance to shine, to secure top 4. Zen, he's good with the camera, but can he be good in game and keep up the consistency? Man, he's a star player. But on the side of the Chiefs, I want to talk about Requiem. Billy's such a nice guy. He's such a cutie. But I tell you what, it goes beyond that. He's had some breakaway performances. I want to see those again today.
Well, exactly right. And I think, you know, he's a player of caliber in terms of what he can produce on the field, and I'm keen to see more from him. Some antics on and off the field that keep these matches alive. But
all right, Jim Nesso, Melbourne Auto and Sydney Chiefs. This is a big one. This is a huge one. The Chiefs, they're fielding their draft roster. Let's see what they can achieve. Already the shot on net from Melbourne Auto. A great start here for Melbourne.
That's right, they're the draft roster, but they've proven they're no blowover for any of these matches. They're already quick on the attack.
We're going to have a very different game here, Jim Nesso. Different from the last one. Dumbo opening. Requiem with a great save. He's put a smiley face in his name. Maybe that's a confidence walking forward. Maybe that's his personality. Demolition mid-air. This is great for Jules. Melbourne Auto looking to dunk down in front of net. The pop-up from Zen. He keeps the play going. Ready for Dumbo. There's the net. Suddenly it's gone. Kia with the save and clear away.
Just in the nick of time as well, but need to be careful here because, again, the clearances are actually turning into attack for Melbourne Order. If they could just sneak one past, give themselves off to the ideal start.
Jules ready to come through. Aggressive play on net again. The dunk down from Zen. Beautiful stuff.
Playing with intent once again this week. That exclamation mark really has changed the way he plays it. Very direct. Great shot from Zen, and that's what he's known for. Just that venom in front of goal.
Minutes past, goal on the board. Melbourne Order exactly where they need to be here in this series. Remember, 2 games at the very least. That'll secure themselves up. They've got their head-to-head. That's all that's going to matter. On the defense, Melbourne Order looks strong, but can they break through? Sydney Chiefs. It's Requiem around the side. Got a good amount of solo plays, unexpected shots. Passing through works out for Order. And Zen brings the pace back forward. Stuck here. Zen actually playing around with the ball. It's a good angle for Dumbo. He misses it though. Kia comes forward. Defense from both teams looking a little bit widespread at the moment. Dumbo finally trying to recur his error. Requiem punches it, changes well over the top of the defense. Kia from the corner, changes here. What a shot! A competitive game we asked for and a competitive game we'll get.
And it's just this little pop pass here from Kia as well. Bang. Change on the end of that one. And he has changed the course of this match. It is back to 1 apiece. Melbourne Order has some work to do.
Keeping up the pace, the important start. And Kia's been able to do quite a lot so far. Jules coming through with the challenge. He wins it out, but he's run out of boost. Still manages to claw his way through. Pace comes to a standstill. Zen trying to take the ball himself, but what a great pass over to Dumbo with the save from Requiem. Billy That was beautiful. They transition that into the attack, Gymnesto, and Kia off the wall, sets it down, change comes in. The leading striker right now needs to be a bit of a linchpin here for Sydney Chiefs. Kia angles perfect once more, but won't get the second touch.
Really is a bit of a talent, isn't he? Need to be careful here. Melbourne Avant. Well, they're watching in the wing, should I say, but Melbourne Order have looked good. Early opening exchanges from them have been very positive, but they can just sneak a few more goals, put the ball in the right areas, find themselves on the advance here. But Sydney Chiefs, they're no slouches, as we said, the draft roster, undefeated. They've looked good, but this is a different task, a different roster to take down.
Zen committed forward. He's taking the ball all the way through the field. Dumbo's here with the perfect angle, but the block from Requiem again. What a hero for this team. Kia now taking it through. Zen brings it to a standstill. That won't work because Requiem sitting here. A touch up by Dumbo. Keeps the ball in play. Sends it towards net. And Melbourne Order strike true.
There's been a few questions asked by Melbourne Order of this Sydney Chiefs defence. And Sydney Chiefs have done a great job of scrambling in defence so far. But there's the, I guess, the crack in the defence that they needed. They get themselves up 2-1. There's still a minute 36 to play. Sydney Chiefs need to find that reply.
Will it come off this kickoff? Melbourne Order are given another goal. Game one could be thrown out. Requiem not willing to give over that chance. The Chiefs, they don't have to care about ground zero. They care about their own performance here. Change the passes forward. Dumbo's there too. Requiem comes back in. Kia, solo play. Bit of a dribble, important moment. Zen just takes another shot on net. Can it be saved again by Change? Yes, it can. The hero and the lifeline continues. Requiem going fast with the ball, but Melbourne Order have just punished their way through. Kia somehow saves it. Sydney Chiefs are getting these miraculous saves, but this might not be enough. Jules is in perfect position. Zen finishes it off. And that could be all she wrote for game one.
And that is sustained pressure from Melbourne Order. They get that reward. They get themselves some breathing space in the last 47 seconds of this match. And Sydney Chiefs, they've been very positive and very much equal to the task in the early exchanges. But eventually the floodgates may have been opened here for Melbourne Order. If they can find themselves another goal, the confidence is going to be brimming high for them. They're a very much, I guess, confidence-based team in that regard. If they're confident, they will punish you.
Well, game one might come to a close. That last touch from the Chiefs does it. That clear towards net. That's in. Silence the Lambs before the slaughter, potentially. Melbourne Order, they'll take game one. And now the issue is, if Melbourne Order take another ground zero before it's even begun, will find their way back onto the plane, back over to Perth for the 8-hour flight. And it'll be a sad way to finish. But Melbourne Order, they'll secure their position. So game one, it's a start, not the end.
That's right. Super critical that Melbourne Order take all the points here, win as cleanly as they can. But Chiefs, been some positive signs for them so far in game number one, but not enough to just crack the enigma that is Melbourne Order. And it looks like they will keep it just a 4-1 for now. Game number two could be a different story, though.
You'd have to hope so. After the start from the Chiefs, you would have to hope this game changes. Melbourne Order on the brink of securing their top four position. One more game. They're looking for the win just to nail it down. And you look at the shots on the board. Melbourne Order had a bit of a field day by the end of that game one.
Yeah, 12 shots as opposed to 6 coming out from Sydney Chiefs, and the production rate wasn't quite there from them. There was a lot of chances that Melbourne Order could have put in the back of the net. There could have been a higher tally here, but there was some positive signs for Sydney Chiefs. Change there with that goal. Some good passing plays resulted in that, but you could see there in the moments where they needed to defend the most, they weren't behind that ball, Sydney Chiefs, and they were punished by Melbourne Order. As we said, they're such a confidence-based team, and they've got the skill set to do that to teams as well.
And when Zen is happy, when Zen's feeling great, that's when he performs best. So it's good to see that Zen is feeling good. He's looking confident and playing at his best. Now for Order, they need to continue that forward. If game two is anything like the first, then it'll be real cut and dry, no matter the result in the end.
What's right? Melbourne Order are a team that we've seen when they start to open those floodgates for the goals, their attacking prowess just allows them to keep piling on the hurt.
Yep.
And I think for Sydney Chiefs right now, it's about just stemming that, working their way back into the game, making sure that when they are under the pump defensively, they deal with that ball, they make sure their rotations are good. They have to have someone rotating back into that back post.
Yep.
And that's really going to be pivotal for them here in game number 2.
Well, let's find out if Melbourne Order can silence it all here. Game 2. The Chiefs, their draft roster. There's so much more to learn out of this series. But it's not over just yet. Leaving the ball, the attack starts off. And the Sydney Chiefs, they push back, but not for long. Around the midfield, Kia lobs it towards that backboard, tries for the second touch, but leaves it in the end. Up comes Change. Requiem here as well from the corner. Doesn't have any boost to play with, though. Recovery going to be hard here for the Chiefs, but they managed to do it with a lob down. Jules just nudging it away.
You can see the confidence in Melbourne Order just to pass that ball around defensively and work their way out from the back. Just not seeing that from Sydney Chiefs in game number 1, and some cohesion.
No, it happened again. Melbourne Order on their way to the semi-finals. Opening up that net. Chiefs are struggling.
In footballing terms, that's called route 1. They've just gone route 1, straight from the clear in defence, transition into attack, snap of your fingers. They found that opening goal. So Sydney Chiefs now need to find a reply, but first and foremost, they need to make sure that they're not getting caught short at the back.
Rocket League Rule 1 is something very different. But I'll take your word from it, not a bit of a football dude. I think at this point, Sydney Chiefs will have to play a very different game if that's the case. Change over the top, Dumbo, well read. And Order have stuck themselves back on the attack. Send, beautiful angle, 3 members in defense. Even struggling, but Kia knows there's a bit of a loophole here. Requiem and Change are going to come through, but the net, a different way. You're shaking, you're stuttering if the Chiefs right now. You need this opening goal. Kia in the angle. Jules brings it to a standstill. They can't do too much. Still pace and momentum on the side of Melbourne Order. It's Zen who pops it up. Nicely done. A miss there from the Chiefs. Time still on their side. What can Requiem do here with the play? From the corner, he picks up the boost, but nothing more. Kia gets it over Zen. Zen's only out of it for a moment as Jules just gets a massive clearance over to Dumbo. He'll touch it, he'll nudge it, he'll send it forward. Zen is going to be the last defender. Over to the side, a good touch there. Change needs to finish it off, but he can't.
Melbourne Order are doing a good job of just making sure they're equal to all of the challenges. They've transitioned well from defence to attack, and now the pressure's on Sydney Chiefs to hold their own net.
Time slowly becoming harder. Zen spirals around for his double touch. Jules going to come in red hot as well. Wins this one over off the backboard. It's Zen trying to silence this again. 2-0. Looking grim for ground zero. Looking beautiful for Melbourne Order. Zen nodding his head. He knows what he's done.
And at all times, Zen carries a protractor and a set square because he's finding angles he just didn't think were possible. He puts himself in a position and he makes it look really easy. I think that's the thing to note, is the fact that such a mechanically driven player finding himself in the right areas. It's a potent combo.
Change around the side. It's not over yet, Jim Nesso. Good setups there, but Kia just doesn't get to the ball. Zen will run away with it once again. 2-0. This is good for Melbourne Order. The defense struggling here from Sydney Chiefs. Kia not going to follow this ball up, but they have to make some risky plays. The challenge comes through, but this only enables Zen, who just sends it directly towards net. Requiem pops it up, but look where Jules is. He'll get another chance. He in fact sends it down to Dumbo, who's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, just a little bit high for that pass that was sent to him.
Yeah, not too much direction towards that net. Jules doesn't get to the ball though. Sydney Chiefs need to interact a lot more. Kia will lob it around the corner. Who's there? Jules doesn't find it, neither does Dumbo. No one committed up there from the Chiefs. That was their moment. They'll head it towards goal again. In comes Kia, and there's the first. drive. The Chiefs on the board. What can they do with that minute?
They've got to find another one for starters. I mean, 2-0. I'll say it again. It is a dangerous lead because momentum shifts quickly in Rocket League. But is it what has been their first goal in game number 2?
Are we setting ourselves up for 3-0s? Is it going to be a 2-0?
Enough, Sydney Chiefs. Can they find a second on the back?
Come out of the gates rolling. But now for Sydney Chiefs, it's Kia once more. Jules will save it away. The pace intensifying. It's Change who comes in off the wall this time. The angle right for the backboard, but Dumbo denies it. It's Requiem who goes over the ball. It's Kia who goes under it. And Change who's stuck somewhere in the middle. 45 seconds and Melbourne Order just have to play with time.
Best way to play with time is to continue to pepper your opposition's defense. So they want to transition out of defense as quickly as they can back into attack and look to get those big clears. But you can see Sydney Chiefs are just trying to lock them into midfield right now.
30 seconds remaining. Make a big play, Chiefs. You need that goal. Order can silence them with another. And it'll be all over for ground zero. No one's in defense. Requiem saves the day, but it's not safe until the play comes forward. The attack needs to happen now. The Chiefs have 10 seconds remaining on the defense. The clear from Change, a necessity here, but no boost, nothing to play with. And Melbourne Order know this. They'll send it down. They'll let it go. And Melbourne Order take game 2 as well. They know what they've secured. Top 4 placement there. And our admin's like, no, Zen, sit back down.
No hugging.
We're not done. No hugging, no contact.
None of that. None of those antics, please. But Melbourne Order, I mean, they very nearly scored a goal there at the end, but they've looked confident in this match. And there was some positive signs, again, I'll say, from Sydney Chiefs, but for them, it came in the last minute and 12 seconds left. There's not a lot of time to work with, unfortunately, because the goals that they got were hard-earned. They were hard-earned goals. Melbourne Order have looked very tidy at the back, but more so, very potent in attack.
I think for Melbourne Order, it was the icing on the cake. We always thought that they would find their way into the semi-finals, that return to maybe their championship. Will we have another 3 on our hands? Well, we're about to find out. Join us then.
Mr. Murray, have you decided on a name?
We're thinking Callum.
Calamari.
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 Let's make it Jack.
Drink it through with Dare iced coffee.
3 days ago, Coda announced that Zero would join Cell 7 in the upcoming Soma Worlds tournament. After so many league victories, switching teams this close to the tournament appears to be a deliberate move to destroy Coda's chance at the title.
You're watching the Gfinity Elite Series presented by Alienware. Now, don't forget, you could win a brand new Alienware M15 laptop this season. It's the thinnest and lightest 15-inch Alienware gaming notebook ever. And this is your chance to take one home. There are 9 different ways to enter, so get on to gfinityesports.com.au for all the details. Right now, we are in our final match of the day, aren't we, Yummy Cheese Man? Order a 2-0 up. Can Chiefs still mount a comeback at this point?
It's going to be tough. They need to really speed it up, but it almost doesn't matter at this point. Order have got the 2 games to get themselves in the finals. I see some really somber faces out from ground zero in the crowd.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, right. So this is Order in the finals at this point. We know
Yeah,
that.
and some tears from Lim coming down his face, unfortunately.
Brutal stuff. I cannot confirm that I have seen the tears. That I think that is supposition by Yummy Cheese Man. Let's get back into our final match of the day right now. Let's see who's going to take it, Order or Chiefs. Back to you guys.
Definitely important for seeding, though, especially for the Chiefs to come back in a 3-2. Would change up our standings a little bit there. So Order may be secure, but not just yet. 2-0 is a good start, but is it going to be a finish?
Oh, well, that's the question on everybody's lips. And I mean, You're even questioning yourself, Jake.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, if only you had a beard to ponder some more mysteries
Well, thanks
with.
so much. I shaped it off because it's not November anymore.
Yeah,
For
well.
the three of you. I don't know what's still going on, but it's December. It's Christmas time.
It's commitment.
Commitment. That's going to be an important word to use here in this series, Jim Nesso. Is the commitment going to come through from Order? Will we just see 3 zeros across the board? Are they looking form? They look like the better team. And Zen's having a good one. Game 3, Melbourne Order. Can they silence the Lambs as they did in Game 1 and 2?
Now the question is, can they do it in style? Can they get themselves, as we said, in the right frame of mind, in the right form for these finals, these semi-finals that they're in? It's a good time to blow out the cobwebs, find form at the right time during the season.
Intercepts coming left, right and centre as usual. This is pressure play by Order. Punch up means Change has nowhere to go. Zen against the wall again. Dumbo's in perfect positioning. They open up the net again.
And that is a simple tap in for Dumbo. These are his bread and butter. He's not going to miss that. Open net. Chiefs, they need to find an answer to their defensive woes.
This roster was undefeated. This draft roster was undefeated. Looks like until now. Order playing such a better game. Look at the passing play here as well. They tap it down. Zen back over to Dumbo. The lob through. That's a 5-man play. Through the field, up again. And it came off the back of Zen.
My goodness. So silky, so smooth. No, I'm not talking about Zen's hair. I'm talking about that play. And Sydney Chiefs now find themselves 2 goals down, 45 seconds played. And Melbourne Order, you just get the feeling that things are starting to get warmed up. They're well oiled. Looking good.
Remember what Yummy said? Yummy was saying that because it's an important matchup that Order were probably going to lose. And before this match, I'd agree with him. I think it was you and I that actually went forward and said, hey, Order would be the team that would win this series. And they're looking pretty good right now. Didn't think it'd be at 3-0, but it's not done just yet. 3:45. Big clears coming through from Sydney Chiefs. This is their opening. They can't even pierce that last defender. So Change will try it again with another massive clear towards that backboard. Well, the ball left wanting, the pass down to no one. Even big clears like this have to have a response. Maybe not. Change gets a freebie, but Jules comes back in, swipes it away.
In the nick of time as well. Just looking to keep that sheet clean. And that's a massive confidence boost. If a team can come away with a clean sheet, they know that they definitely
have done the washing.
They've definitely done the washing. Exactly. Clean sheets are everything. And they need that crisp feeling leaving this match.
Yeah, what detergent are they using? I don't know.
Is the fabric soft?
3 minutes remaining, Jim. Doesn't look like the resolve of Melbourne Order has softened up whatsoever. On top of that goal, this is an opening, but Change comes through a little bit late. Melbourne Order still have time to play with. They look so composed. Looks like a different Melbourne Order to previous situations.
They definitely want to put this match to bed.
Defense still strong there. Just not giving you a bar as always.
It's alright, not even my phone gives me bars.
2 minutes 20. How do people work with you? That's my question each and every week. It's only week 5. We are going to put this one to rest though, Jim. In 2 minutes 10.
Got me snoozing.
I think this is going to be Sydney Chiefs who just have to find an opening here. But 3-0's the theme of today. We've had competitive 3-0s. We've had in between, which is what I'd call this game. We've had a couple of blowouts. Melbourne Order just looking form. What this means going forward, Chiefs might not be in the... well, Chiefs probably not going to be in... They're not going to be in first place. After today, this could be absolutely massive. The way things stand, who knows what happens in the semi-finals next week.
Certainly going to be some tasty matchups based on form as well. That was almost a tasty chance for...
In a different week, Requiem would have that. That'd be Requiem's ball. You know, we're looking at highlights before and it was very different. Chiefs feeling like they have lack of confidence here today. The passing play from Order, a little bit more clean, not missing the ball. We'll go under at that time, so what can the Chiefs achieve? Dumbo just pops it down, Requiem straight on net. Zen's there, Kia can't interrupt. And we've run out of time, it's a minute remaining, and it looks like it's just going to be another 3-0.
Unless Sydney Chiefs can find a goal here, they've certainly got the momentum going forward. That nice double touch infield pass. No one there to receive it though, but they need more of that and quickly.
Individual plays work under the name of Requiem. He's going to have another go, but Zen reads perfectly. Kia's still up for the ball, but the passes to no one. No one's in net as well. Dumbo's here to receive off the backboard. A close touch, but it does save the day. When you think about those words, does it really save anything? Melbourne Order, they've played time perfectly. And the Chiefs look like they're going to crumble.
Chiefs have had no answer in this match. Melbourne Order, they've kept it clean. And they'll look now and turn their sights to the semi-finals.
The time will tick down, and that's it. Melbourne Order, 3-0. A clean way to finish here in the Gfinity Elite Series. Perth Ground Zero, they're a little bit upset before, but now it was just the reality of where the Chiefs will stand, what Melbourne Order will bring to these semi-finals. Zen, he's happy again. And I think this week, they weren't going to take no for an answer. They weren't going to sit back after the 2-0 start. They wanted to take it all the way. And that's kind of the perseverance we wanted to see.
That's right. I mean, Dumbo and Zen, they've both been there before at the semi-final stage of the Gfinity Elite Series. And for them, it was about making sure that that dream was kept alive, making sure that their chances were as high as possible. And they did it. They got that win that they needed over Sydney Chiefs. This draft roster, as we said previously, undefeated. They'd shown some glimpses of brilliance, but in the end, it wasn't enough.
Isn't it incredible that someone like Zen can go forward into this week and just pull out a better game? He gets better and better, and so do the team of Melbourne Order. However, that's it for us. Another 3-0 to cap off the day and for the regular season. Of course, we'll be back in semi-finals, but Ash is standing by with the captain and leader in Zen.
Hey, thank you so much. Congratulations on a 3-0, Zen. You guys look fighting fit out there.
Thank you.
So how did it feel knowing after you won that second game that you guys had secured that 4th spot on the table? You hadn't even completed the 3 games yet.
I felt amazing. We knew beforehand that if we got the Game 5, or at least the confirmed Game 5, we'd be through to the top 4. So a lot of nerves going through to Game 1 and 2, but we pulled through.
Did it take the pressure off knowing that you're already there?
Definitely took the pressure off.
Well, I wanted to know, do you guys think now that you are in the semis, are you semis and finals fit? Are you going to be able to defend that series win from last season for Order?
Absolutely. I think, yeah.
He's confident, guys. He's confident. Well, I'll leave you to it. Thank you so much and congrats on your win.
Thank you.
Back to you, Luke.
Yeah, he should be confident. That was a great win. 3-3-0s today. Huge matches. That's how it's gone. Right now, it's time to find out who the Astro MVP is for that match. We've just seen the final match in Rocket League between Melbourne Order and Sydney Chiefs. Yummy Cheeseman, where are your Astro MVP points going?
It was finally a really strong effort from Order, and most importantly, it was team cohesion that got them across the line. 3rd place in the MVP standings was Jules. The fact that he's down there at number 3 despite his performance shows how good the other 2 did. Zen really started off the series with the 2 big goals, just those angles that able to really start it off. But Dumbo this week, finally a massive performance. He was involved in 7 out of 8 of Order's goals. It's really good to see him step up. He's the one that you normally expect has the lowest confidence. He doesn't think too much of himself, but now today he proved that he belongs here. He looks like he can be a contender in this top 4, and they've finally secured their spot in the finals where they can defend their title once again.
Yeah, definitely. Congrats, Dumbo. You are the Astro MVP for the Order versus Chiefs match in Week 5. Right, we're off to a very quick break. On the other side of it, we'll look ahead to the Rocket League semi-finals and we'll see what's going to be happening over next week and the final grand final coming up the week after that. See you soon.
Mr. Murray, have you decided on a name?
We're thinking Callum.
Calamari.
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 Let's make it Jack.
Drink it through with Dare iced coffee.
What a day of Rocket League action we have just seen. 3-3-0s. Not 3-0s, but 3 one-sided. 3 games.
They were all
to one
3-0s.
team. Yeah, 3-0s. Yeah. Oh, they were. Well, look at me doing my job correctly. Nailed it. Hey, let's have a look at the results right now. This is how it played out exactly over this week. Yeah, 3-3-0s. I knew I said it right. Brisbane Deceptors, Perth Ground Zero, and Melbourne Order all winning their matches. Unfortunately for Perth Ground Zero, though, not enough to take them through. Let's have a look at the Rocket League standings at the end of the league play stage. As you can see there, that is our top 4. Deceptors, Raw, Order and Chiefs all making it through to the semis, going home unfortunately for this season. Perth Ground Zero and Melbourne Avant both did their absolute best. Let's get a round of applause for those teams right now, guys, because they had a huge season and they did their darndest to get through. Here are the semi-final matchups for next week. This is what's happening. We've got Brisbane Deceptors going up against Sydney Chiefs, and Sydney Raw taking on Melbourne Order. Yummy, do you have a feeling about which way this is going to go?
Well, I really think that Brisbane Deceptors, the fact that they came out first was big, but they would have been hoping to go up against Raw. So they've unfortunately avoided Raw. They wanted Raw. Raw and Chiefs didn't want to verse each other, so that's a big one for them. And I'm going to have to say that Chiefs and Raw are going to be the 2 teams that we expect to see in the grand final.
Yeah? You're calling it? He reckons it's going to be a Chiefs-Raw grand final, all Sydney all the way home. All right, well, we'll see next week. Later today, though, the final preliminary round of Street Fighter 5 is coming your way. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in Australia. Obviously, next Saturday, we've got the Counter-Strike semi-finals there at 3 p.m. and Rocket League is back next Sunday. We're on 10 Peach and also on Twitch. Now, remember to follow at Gfinity AU on socials. You can be notified when we go live on CSGO, Rocket League and Street Fighter 5. That is it for the last week of league play of Rocket League. Next week is the semis. It's all happening. Thank you so much to my wonderful co-host, Ash, to the Mr. Yummy Cheese Man, David Lane, our amazing casters, Jake and Jim, and all the amazing players and people that work on the show. We will be back next week for the semi-finals. I cannot wait. See you next Sunday morning. I'm Luke Joseph Ryan. Bye for now.
They're a little bit upset before, but now it was just the reality of where the Chiefs will stand, what Melbourne Order will bring